Very good.
Oh, they're getting amped up now. They know it's game time. Folks are standing up in the bleachers and ready to go.
From AT&T Stadium in Arlington, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, it's the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, brought to you by the Impact Football Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Castle with former Buffalo Bill and Nebraska Cornhusker Sheldon Jackson. We'll be joined down on the sidelines by Mercedes Owens here in just a moment. We welcome you inside AT&T Stadium for the 2017 Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, and Sheldon, should be a fun time for these players and these fans. I know they've had a great week of practice under the tutelage of all of these former NFL players and coaches, and it's been a great week for them, and it all culminates tonight with this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl.
That is for sure. These guys are here because they are trying to get a little more time, get a little more exposure. Some of these kids have offers in hand, so a lot of these kids do not, and they know that this is another opportunity for them to try and reach out and catch some coach's radar.
Well, George Teague, the head coach of the East team, which will be dressed in solid blue jerseys tonight, taking on Mark McMillan, NFL veteran of the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. He is the head coach of the West team that will be wearing the gray jerseys tonight. The team's turning their attention to the American flag. We'll have the national anthem here in just a moment at AT&T Stadium. We're glad to have you along with us. I'm Ryan Castle with Sheldon Jackson. And we will pause a moment for the national anthem here inside AT&T Stadium just prior to the kickoff here of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. This is the Impact Football Network. All right, you get a look at a very nice fan base across the way here at AT&T Stadium for this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, the West squad versus the East squad. And Sheldon, just give us sort of a feel of what practice was like this week. I know that this is always an interesting dynamic with these players coming from all over the country. They've never even met each other before. And in 3 days' time, they have to put together some personnel packages, put together some plays, and go out here on the turf at AT&T Stadium and play a football game together. Tell us a little bit about what the week was like in practice.
Well, it started out pretty good. I mean, we had some rain on Friday, and they were able to split the teams. One was practicing inside, and the other team practiced outside for the duration. And I thought the guys moved around really good. There was some anxiety, some hesitation with the things you just mentioned, being brand new with the system, brand new with the coaches, brand new with your teammates. But the guys, again, they're here for the right reasons. I got a chance to talk with a lot of the kids, a lot of their parents, and listen to the stories that brought them down here. And everybody had their head on the right place, and their attitudes were good. I felt very positive about it.
It'll be interesting to watch some of these players, and we'll highlight some of them as the night goes on, and even interview some of them down on the field as our broadcast progresses. And just to sort of give you some of the logistics behind tonight's game, we will play 16-minute quarters, 4 quarters, 16 minutes each, to sort of maximize the amount of playing time that these players will get. Obviously, that's what it's all about. Really, a win or a loss probably means more to the coaching staffs than it does necessarily to the players. I know that the coaches get really fired up and excited and passionate about winning a game like this. But for the players, as you said, Sheldon, it's all about getting exposure out there, especially for the kids that currently do not have any offers, or maybe have offers from Division II or Division III schools and are looking for that Division I football bowl subdivision offer. That's really what it's about for them, is the playing time. But 16-minute quarters, and then some interesting caveats to the rules this year put in place by Gus Bell and the folks at the Impact Football Network. And namely that we're going to pretty much see the same personnel packages on both sides of the football tonight.
Right, that is true. You mentioned, you hit the nail right on the head earlier. The coaches want the wins a little better, a little harder than these kids do. It's about the exposure. And some of those adjustments and logistics that you spoke about, Ryan, I'm going to go over a couple of them with you. Offensively, you got to have 2 running backs in the game at all times, 3 wide receivers, and your tight end can also be a wide receiver. The formations have to be pretty simple, so these kids don't have to worry about memorizing too much. They can go out there and let their athletic skills just kind of show out. Also, there must be field goals. Must be attempted if you are about to get a first down, and it's no more than 8 yards to receive that first down. So we should see some field goal attempts a lot this evening, and it gives the guys a chance to get out there and get as many reps as possible to, again, appease that goal that we're trying to, is get these kids exposure.
Yeah, those I think are some very good things put in place by the Impact Football Network here in this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl to, as you said, Sheldon, maximize the exposure and the opportunity for these student athletes to get their name out there and get some film out there for some coaches that may be looking to add something late to their recruiting class here in the 2018 group. So the teams meeting at midfield for the coin toss will have the opening kickoff here in just a moment. And just so that you're aware, the East squad is here on the near sideline as we see it. They're in the blue jerseys and white pants. And the West squad in the gray jerseys and the navy pants and the silver helmets. Both teams wearing silver helmets here at AT&T Stadium. And the officials have taken the field. It looks like the West team will receive first, or the East team, I should say. The East team in the blue jerseys will receive first on the right side of the field as we see it here at AT&T Stadium. And so we'll see the West kicking off first. So for the East, back deep to receive the kick will be Tyler Mitchell of Shelton, Texas, a 5'9" kick returner. And also looks like number 21, Trudell Archer from Douglas, Oklahoma.
That Trudell Archer is a pretty good young man. During practice, he runs routes really well, real quick, great hands. I look for him to have a great game tonight.
So the kickoff coming from left to right from the West squad. And looks like down there it might be Gabe Burkick from Notre Dame Cathedral Latin High School in Ohio, 6'2", 190-pound place kicker. He will line it up in between the hashes at the 40-yard line. Something interesting, Sheldon, is that, they play with the pro-style hash marks in this ball game. So we will not see the wide hashes that you typically see at the amateur level. Here's a high end-over-end kickoff, and coming out from the goal line will be the return man. And not much there. Good coverage by the West squad. Dropped just across the 10-yard line was the return man, Tyler Mitchell. So not much of a return there for Mitchell. Just gets to the 12, and that's where the East will start on offense. So for the East, we'll see three quarterbacks rotating in and out. Cade Finnegan of Texas, Connor Noland from Arkansas, and Wyatt Rector of Florida. And on this first series, it appears it'll be Cade Finnegan, who played his high school football at Woodrow Wilson right here in the Dallas area. And he will turn and hand off on first down, and not much. A nice play made defensively there quickly by the West squad. A late penalty flag will fly in after the whistle was blown.
That tackle was made by number 32, Cameron Tate. I tell you something, that young man wants to play football at the next level. I know I watched him at practice yesterday, and we walked into the indoor facility over at South Grand Prairie High School, and that young man was bringing his helmet and shoulder pads and putting linemen on their knees. It was a wonderful sight to see.
That was a great open field tackle. Cameron from Forney, Texas, right here in the Metroplex. And it'll be second down and about 12 coming up for the East, right to left. Finnegan had come to the sideline. Not entirely sure for what, but he's now back in the huddle. And Sheldon, will probably see both offenses huddle a good bit tonight. Obviously, they do not have much going offensively as far as plays are concerned, so we'll see them huddle up and make the play call in the huddle. Three receivers, two running backs. Finnegan will throw to the right side, and a completed pass up across the 15 and across the 20. The catch is made by Jerquan Sanders out of Oklahoma. He's a big receiver at 6'2", 170, and gets good yardage and a first down for the East.
We also add some to those logistics defensively. They have to run a 4-4-3 defensive front throughout the game to accommodate the 12 or 13 linebackers that the West has, as well as to accommodate for the fewer defensive backs that they have this year.
Here's a handoff on first down behind the left tackle. Crosses the 25-yard line, gets to the 27, and on the carry, that was number 25 for the East. That was Joseph Kellum of Lemap, New Jersey. 5'10", 195-pounder. Gains 3. It'll be second down. So you see the personnel decision here from the East is to go with more of an H-back as their second running back. Play fake for Finnegan. He'll roll to his right, looking to throw deep sideline, and the ball is caught inbounds across midfield at around the 45-yard line. The catch made by the East, Travis West, and that is a connection of the Wildcats, Woodrow Wilson High School, from Cade Finnegan to Travis West, the receiver. Well, you know that West has caught a few passes in his time from Finnegan. So first down East, right to left at the West 45-yard line after a big play. And they'll hand off here. This is Kellum coming right up the middle. Not going to get much. That's good play up front by the West. They have plugged the holes well defensively up front. Looked like one of the first in on the stop there was number 67, Dylan Koretko from Roosevelt, Colorado. He's a small defensive lineman, but threw his weight around there, 5'10", 220.
That West front line is pretty strong. They moved around real good at practice. I expect them to get in that backfield a lot this game.
That was no gain for Kellum on first down, so 2nd and 10. Finnegan out of a pistol. And back to throw with some time. Looking deep, looking middle, going end zone. The ball is knocked away well on the back end. Beautiful play in the secondary made by the West right there. Getting his hand up and knocking the pass away was Darryl Crockett from South Lake Carroll.
Real good play. I mean, that's one of the adjustments they also made for this game, too. You're going to notice for the rest of this game that these defensive backs are going to be locked in man throughout. That's the only coverage that they're designed to play this week. Only man coverage.
That pass was intended for Jaquan Sanders, who caught a pass a little bit earlier. Pretty well thrown deep ball there by Finnegan, but a better play made defensively by the defensive back Crockett. So 3rd and 10. Ball at the left hash at the West 45-yard line, and Finnegan out of a pistol, and will go back to throw, looking to set up a screen left. The ball is caught and dropped pretty immediately short of the 40-yard line. Nice open field tackle there on the running back Reese Silla of Shawnee Mission North out of Kansas. Dropped after about a 3-yard gain, and it'll be time to punt for the East.
Great defensive tackle by Michael Jewett, number 23, coming out of straight Jesuit prep right here in Texas, one of our homegrown fellas here. Interesting thing about that young fella, he's got offers to West Point, and I hope he takes it. He's going to be a great addition to that program there.
So here's Nick Mihalik, the punter, gets a good high end-over-end kick that will be fair caught at around the 8-yard line. Nice high punt and good coverage downfield by the East, and so after a couple of first downs, and getting the ball inside West territory, the East squad has to punt. And now we'll see the West take over on offense for the first time, starting inside their own 10-yard line. So for the West, we'll see several quarterbacks in there. Jack Alexander of Redondo Union, California. Stacy Connor from right here in Texas at Wiley High School. And then Braden Wingle from Bakersfield, California, will be the 3 quarterbacks rotating in for the West. And I believe starting out will be Jack Alexander. Out of the gun, back to throw with some pressure, and now he steps up and goes down. They put him down back at the 6-yard line. Good pressure from the East up front. And it looked like 56 in there on the stop for the East. That would be Elijah Ratliff.
That would be a good kid to watch this game. I tell you what, he has good moves. He stays low to the ball. He gets off just as quick as that center is snapping it. He had a real good week of practice, young Ratliff. He's a Marshall commit, too.
2nd down and 12, and they're going to hand off. Trying to sweep the right end behind the right tackle. They get up to the 10-yard line. Again, a nice job by the East to string that play along. As the handoff there, I believe, went to Dominic Palmer from Hart, California, a wide receiver. I believe that's correct.
The tackle on that play was number 45, Thomas Tillotson, out of Maldine High School, South Carolina. Another one of those young running linebackers who hit really good during practice. Moves well, just loves the contact of the game. Does a good job. I look forward to seeing him do good things as well this game.
Well, Alexander in the gun with 2 running backs to his left, and he goes back to throw on 3rd and 9, looking out right and a deep out, and it is incomplete as he threw it in front of his intended receiver, Joshua Tips of Trinity Christian High School here in Texas, who's a big target, 6'4", 205, and has a big wingspan, Sheldon, but not quite enough to haul that pass in. It'll be 4th down, and the West will have to punt. So the East will send Trudell Archer back to return. And let's see if we could get an eye on the punter for the West.
Number 20.
Here's a good snap. And he gets away a line drive end-over-end kick. Archer will let it bounce and will not decide to field it. It'll go across the 50, across the 45, and be downed at the 44-yard line. So that's a 51-yard punt without a return. Well done there by the punter Ryan Wright out of California. And flip-flops the field position just a bit here, but good starting field position for the East as they'll come out right to left from their 44-yard line. And we'll see a new quarterback in there for the East now. It'll be Connor Noland, who's an Arkansas commit, hometown of Greenwood, Arkansas. He's a big kid, 6'3", 208 pounds, and we'll see him on this series for the East. Out of the pistol on 1st down, he'll turn and he'll give it off, coming right up the middle. Nice burst right up between the hash marks to around the 49-yard line for a gain of 5. And let's see here, I did not catch.
Number 7, that was Shea Goss out of Lancaster High School, Ohio. One thing you also mentioned, too, about a different quarterback, we're also going to have a whole different line here in this group, too. Every series from here on out until that last quarter, we're going to see a different group of guys every time.
Well, that makes it a little tough on the broadcasters, but good for the kids to get in there. Here's another handoff to Goss, coming behind the left guard, and he gets close to a first down. Going to be short by about a yard, and it'll be 3rd down coming up.
NFL veteran Margin Hooks, the offensive coordinator for the East right there, and I can definitely see him setting something up. Shea Goss was a real strong performer these last 2 practices. He is good straight north and south running back. He's a small, little, powerful guy. You can't go wrong giving him the ball in situations like this, 3rd and short.
Noland in the pistol. Let's see if they keep it on the ground here. And they will with Goss once again, and I'm not sure that he got it. Going to be very close. Looks like he'll be short by a yard, and it'll be 4th and 1 coming up. So that was good penetration by the West. They did a good job to plug up the gap there on the right side of the line. And so now a decision for the East squad. That would be Coach George Teague. And it looks like the East will try to gain a yard here on 4th and 1 from the West 47-yard line. This is the 2nd time in as many possessions that the East has had it on the west side of the 50. And here they go on 4th and a yard. The snap, the turn, the give to Goss, and he didn't get it. The West does another nice job of getting there quickly. And in on the stop, one of the first on the scene,
number 28,
was Scott Jones Jr. and
number 28, Connor Christofferson.
Yeah, well done there by the West to make the stop. We're going to go down to the sidelines now. Join Mercedes Owens for the first time tonight. Mercedes?
Okay. Well, hey, guys, I'm down here with Travis West. You just got a huge 30-yard pass in that opening drive. Good way to start the game. How do you feel?
Feel good. I just want to get this win.
For sure, and you're from Dallas, so it definitely means something playing at AT&T Stadium for you, right?
Yes, man, it's awesome. Get to watch the Cowboys every Sunday play here, so it's awesome to get to experience what they do.
What's been your favorite part so far about this entire experience?
I've just loved meeting all the guys from all around the country, getting to know the talent across the board. Really.
Well, speaking about other parts of the country, you're headed pretty far away from Dallas. You're going to West Point, New York. When did you make that decision?
About 3 months ago.
And what helped you there?
It was just a great experience. I went down there for the camp and just saw the whole place, loved the coaching staff.
Well, awesome job so far. Good luck today. Hope you get the win right here at AT&T Stadium. Ryan, Sheldon, back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, thanks very much. And just as you give it back to us, just as you give it back to us, Mercedes, a fumble by the West as they were moving the ball inside East territory, but they cough it up at around the 40-yard line. The East get the takeaway.
Looked like the ball carrier on that play was number 21, Jayon Colbert out of Overland High School, Colorado. I'm sure he'd like to have that play back.
Yeah, he had a nice run around the left end, but was not able to hold on to the football, stripped out of there by somebody on the East. And now the East squad will take over once again. And that was after the West had gotten some momentum after the big stop on 4th down. They had their best field position of the game so far. We have 10 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the opening quarter and no score here at AT&T Stadium. And the new quarterback on for the East is Wyatt Rector, and he completes his first pass to the right side, up the sideline, across the 45, up to about the 47-yard line. That is a gain of about 9 there. It'll bring up a 2nd down and short.
Again, that's that young man I told you earlier you want to keep your eyes on, number 21, Trudell Archer out of Douglas High School, Oklahoma. Quick, fast, shifty wide receiver, definitely a deep threat. Keep your eyes, keep the camera on him. I'm sure he's going to have much to say before this game is over with.
Archer will line up wide to the right here. And slot on the right is number 88, Donovan Foley. The snap to Rector, play fake, looking left, in some trouble. Will try to run it himself, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Nice play made in the open field there by the West. That was Reed Walther from Giddings, Texas, who made the play on Wyatt Rector. And that's going to lose about 5 yards. It'll set up a 3rd down and 5 coming up. Looked like the protection broke down there for the East, not able to give Rector the time he needed to look downfield and find an open receiver.
But also Reed played a good job keeping it contained, not letting that quarterback get outside, and that was textbook defense right there.
Archer again will line up wide to the right in single coverage on 3rd and 5. And back to throw is Rector, standing in the pocket, now throwing deep, and that is incomplete. Some miscommunication there between Rector and Trudell Archer. Looked like Rector was looking for a go route, and Archer broke the route off early, and it falls harmlessly incomplete. It'll be 4th down and time for the East to punt once again.
I see Coach Hooks down there talking to the quarterback right now. He is not happy about that, but it's to be expected. Like you said, 2 days of practice. You can't get all the wrinkles ironed out in that amount of time.
And Trudell Archer, the receiver there, wanting to speak with Rector as well. Make sure those two get on the same page. Here's the punt from Mihalik. And this is going to be fielded at the 21-yard line without a fair catch signal, and that return man gets pummeled at around the 20. No return on the play, and that was, quite frankly, a dangerous decision to even field that ball in a lot of traffic. But able to make the catch, goes down immediately at around the 21-yard line, and that's where the West will begin its next drive.
Christian was just showing off the ice in his veins, Ryan. That's showing how hardcore he is. Christian McDowell's out of Edgewood High School, out of Maryland.
Well, that is a long holiday trip.
We have quite a few.
On the East Coast.
Quite a few families. They'll come from great distances. We have Delaware represented down here. We have obviously New Mexico, California. They're all over the place. We have a good nucleus of kids that'll come out of Texas. But this is a great job for the Blue Gray. These kids realize how important it is, and they're willing to travel. These parents are willing to sacrifice. And I love listening to the stories about it over the past couple days.
So here is the handoff on 1st down. Good running room across the 30, spinning out of a tackle across the 35-yard line on the carry. Hayden Chittum of Joshua, Texas. And he gets yardage for a 1st down for the West.
Young man like that, out of Texas, he knows how important this is. He knows what it means. It means something more sometimes to kids that are from the area than those who are not from this area. So that's exciting to see a kid like that get a chance to run the ball and knock somebody down every now and again.
I'll beg your pardon. They're going to mark him just short of a 1st down. Looked like the line judge was in front of the stick. Here's again the handoff to Chittum, trying to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. The East does a good job here of bottling him up. And let's see if they give him the necessary yardage. Looks like they will. He got just enough for a 1st down there. 1st down carry for Joshua Chittum up to the West 37-yard line. 38-yard line it is.
That O-line's got to get a better push up inside. Too many linemen I'm watching walking around, not even just turning around looking at the running back, kind of giving Olay blocks. We got to do a better job down there than that.
Yeah, that sort of seems to be the issue really for both offenses so far. And we'll remind you that this is a new offensive line every series. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Quick out to the right is caught. And breaking out of a couple of arm tackles and getting the yardage for a 1st down across the 50. A good catch and run there by the West. The completed pass from the quarterback, that's not Finnegan. That's Braden Wingle of Bakersfield Christian High School in California. And he made the completion. Who was it on the catch?
Number 13, Alexander Wise out of Brennan High School in Texas. Great job fighting for extra yards. Coaches want to see that at the next level. But someone in the wrist, though, when you start fighting and you don't see who's hitting you, that ball comes out. You look like a hero one play and you look like a dud the next.
So Braden Wingle from Bakersfield in at quarterback right now. He's a big quarterback at 6'5". Flings one left, and a catch is made by Nathan Holmes up the sideline. Inside the East 40, down to about the 35-yard line. Good catch and run there out of the backfield. And another 1st down for the West. They're moving the football well on this series.
Got the right chemistry going down there with this group of guys. There's nothing really going to stop them except for themselves.
Well, let's see if the East is able to respond defensively here. Wingle will again set up out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, and here's the handoff. Over the right side, nice burst there by Chittum. Gets to the 32-yard line. That is a gain of about 3.
One of the things that people don't get to watch is the blocking. The number 84, Mr. Wading, he did a great job with that block. That H-back tight end formation, he did a great job sealing the edge so that play could get the yards that it did.
They'll go with a slot left, H-back left. Here's the snap. Chittum will get the handoff. Instead of cutting it up south, he bounces it out and gets to the 20-yard line. Nice run there by Chittum, but he might have been helped by a holding penalty, and that's indeed the case. A holding call here against the West will wipe off that nice run by Chittum. We have 5:43 to play here in the opening quarter at AT&T Stadium. It's the West nothing and the East nothing in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. And that holding penalty will move the West back to the 42-yard line. It'll bring up second down and 16. More like 17.
Gosh, nothing kills a drive like a penalty does. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, very tough for the West there. It's really about a 24-yard difference in field position, and Wingle's going deep middle. That's incomplete. Floated one down the middle there for the intended receiver. That was Eric Pizarro of Rio Hondo, Texas. Nearly ran underneath that one for a catch, but it'll be incomplete. 3rd and 17 coming up.
Eric Pizarro is one of those secret type receivers. You don't realize, you didn't hear much about who he is, but during practice these last couple of days, he's done a phenomenal job running routes. It looks real good out there. So I hope he gets another chance for a deep pass.
So big 3rd down right here for the West as they try to maybe get into field goal range if they can't pick up the first down. Wingle back to throw. Penalty flag is down, and a pass out deep right is incomplete.
Looks like we may have an illegal hands to the face mask by number 56, Mr. Elijah Rattler. Let's wait for the call.
That pass was intended for Alexander Wise. Incomplete. Would bring up 4th down pending the penalty flag here. The officials discussing this amongst themselves. An illegal shift against the offense. That'll be declined, and we will have 4th down and 17 coming up. So that will mean the West will punt. And it might mean that we have a chance to see Trudale Archer here, but I don't actually think that's going to be the case. Archer is down on the sideline with his helmet off, so it doesn't look like the East will send anybody back deep to return. And now they finally throw somebody out there, and that somebody is Jerquan Sanders. Jerquan Sanders will go back deep to return inside his own 10. There's a high spiraling punt. This will go into the end zone by quite a bit here, out the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the East will start from its own 20-yard line, 5:11 to play first quarter, and neither team on the board just yet. We've seen both ends of the spectrum in this ball game. I can remember a couple of years ago there was a 7-0 game, a late touchdown in that one was the difference. And then it was last year that we had a pretty high scoring affair. So you really never know what you're going to see out of these Blue-Gray All-American Bowls. Right now it's a defensive struggle. Finnegan back to throw. Cade Finnegan back in there at quarterback. Rolls the pocket to his right and now shows good wisdom to just throw the ball out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be second down coming up.
Yeah, all receivers were covered up. Again, with this new 4-4-3 look, you're masking linebackers now to potentially cover running backs out of the backfield. We're putting those linebackers to a real good test tonight. And so far, everybody's doing pretty good. Like I said, this has been a defensive battle so far in this game.
So 2nd and 10. Right to left for the East. Cade Finnegan is back in there at quarterback, with 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. And they will run a reverse. Here comes the receiver on the reverse, Travis West, who we heard from a moment ago, and the ball's out. And the West had the first chance to recover it at around the East 30-yard line, and it looks like they have. Travis West with a fumble, and the West will recover and have great starting field position at the East 30-yard line.
I watched them work this play yesterday. I was excited because the big lineman had a chance to come out and crack block on an unsuspecting linebacker. And it was set up just perfectly, and they got exactly everything they wanted except for that fumble.
They would have had a first down had West been able to hold on to the football, but unfortunately a takeaway by the West, and they'll start first down at the East 31-yard line, and they'll hand off on first down. Coming behind the left tackle is the ball carrier.
Number 38, T.K. Wilkerson, out of Skiatook High School out of Oklahoma. He's also a Tulsa commit.
Well, the Golden Hurricane will be getting a very, very big back, 210, 6'2", and a guy that can carry the load. He'll be to the right of the quarterback, Braden Wingle, who's back in there for a second consecutive series, and they'll give it once again on the carry, coming right behind the center for Wilkerson, but this time not much. He is dropped in the backfield for a loss, back to the 30-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 9 now for the West.
Remember, I told you about this young man earlier, number 45, Thomas Tillotson, out of Muldean High School, South Carolina. One of the notes I made about him is this young man loves the contact of the game, and you saw right there he was not afraid, did not back down. Look for him to see him doing more of that the rest of this game.
So Wingle out of the gun. Before the snap, a penalty comes in from the far side, and this will be a false start against the offense. It'll turn it into 3rd down and 14. A riveting offensive showcase here at AT&T Stadium with 3:39 to play in the first quarter. No score. Both defenses have played very well.
Yeah, both sides have very talented players on both, and I expect them to continue this defensive push. It's going to change a little bit as we get towards the latter part of that fourth quarter here, Ryan, and I'll tell you why in a moment.
Snap back to Wingle on 3rd and 14 and some pressure, and he will get some positive yardage here back to the original line of scrimmage or so. But it is going to bring up 4th down as the protection broke down, didn't give Wingle a chance to look downfield.
As I was saying earlier, up until the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, everybody going to get a reasonably the same amount of time to play. Everybody's going to switch for every series, but that last 8 minutes, especially if the game is close, these coaches are going to start freely substituting and going with the better players that they feel on their team is going to help them edge out a W.
And before 4th down and 9, it appears the West is going to keep their offense out there and try to go for this. Let's see what the whistles are all about. The officials discussing something amongst themselves. And so the West right now, Sheldon, sort of in no man's land. It's obviously too close to punt. A field goal from here would be about 47 yards, but it looks like they're going to give that a go here.
I don't see no reason why not. Give it a chance. Give that young man a chance to kick that ball. And everybody needs a little bit of exposure, so give him a chance and see what he can do.
So Ryan Wright is going to be the holder. Let's see if we can get an eye on the number of the place kicker here for the West. He is at just the right angle where I cannot see it.
Number 3, I believe. Number 3, Gabe Burkich.
Gabe Burkich, a 48-yarder, has plenty of distance, and it is good. He split the uprights with plenty of room to spare from 48, and West is on the board with 2:39 to play here in the first quarter. It's 3-0.
That's how you do that there.
Well, that was beautifully done there by Gabe Burkich. And the West squad able to take advantage of the takeaway that their defense was able to get off the fumble from Travis West. And they get a 48-yard field goal from Gabe Burkich. 2:39 to play first quarter. It's the West 3 and the East 0 here at AT&T Stadium. And that was a good decision, I think, there from the West to give Burkich a chance to put one in the air there. You never know in a game like this how many attempts a field goal kicker will get. And so in his range, obviously, a chance for him to get out there and show what he's got.
Definitely. It always makes the coach look good when you score, doesn't it?
No doubt about it, and that's what the West was able to do. So Mark McMillan's team on the board first. And now Burkich will kick off deep to Archer and Tyler Mitchell. That is a high end over end Kick that will be returned from Archer from the goal line up to the 10, to the 15, and he is blasted again just past the 15-yard line. Wonderful open field tackle made there by Palat Makakona from Hunter, Utah. Stood up Archer at about the 15 or 16-yard line, and Archer able to fall forward to the 20. So in at quarterback for the East on this series will be Connor Noland, the Arkansas commit. The Blue-Gray All-American Bowl has some esteemed alumni at the quarterback position. One name that comes to mind, Nick Starkel from a couple of years ago, who won the starting job at Texas A&M this past season. Noland back to throw, in some trouble, will run it himself and gain some positive yardage up to the 24-yard line for a gain of 4.
Good job with the defense to closing in, not give him much room to run. So we let that kid get out in the open field, he will score.
So it'll be second down and about 6 here for the East, moving right to left in quarter number 1, under 2 minutes now to play here in the first quarter. The East has primarily been in a pistol look with an H-back left and a running back behind the quarterback. And the West in more of a traditional shotgun look. Here's a quick throw to the right and a completed pass up across the 35 up to about the 37-yard line. Let's see if we can figure out who that is on the catch. Looked like Jade Vanderwerf, if I'm not mistaken, from Gregory, South Dakota. Well, you mentioned Delaware earlier. South Dakota's not exactly a train ride away either.
Not at all.
Vanderwerf with a nice catch and run there. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 3.
Good defense on that cornerback out there, number 33, Daryl Crockett. We mentioned his name a couple times already, from South Lake Carroll, one of our homegrowns. Just make sure the guy get out of bounds and doesn't get any extra yards.
So a big 3rd down here for the East, trailing 3-zip first quarter. And Noland in the pistol, slot right and back to throw, looking left, now screen right, catch is made, 1st down across the 30. And a nice point of attack block over there by the East. The run on the play made by Shea Goss, who we saw earlier have a nice couple of carries of the football. This time he makes a catch out of the backfield on a screen and gets the 1st down.
Good job on the first person to make contact over there was number 5. You mentioned him earlier, Palake Makakona out of Utah. Great job getting out there and kind of sniffing out that screen and making a play.
So 1st down for the East from the 34-yard line. And they'll give it to Goss, and he is stood up and blasted. What a play made defensively by the West. There were 3 guys really there in the backfield. I can tell you that one of them was 77. I'm not sure if he made the initial hit, but David Duncan from Beatrice, Nebraska, with a punishing blow there on the running back.
I mean, this is football. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do on defense. It's a great job, but somebody on that offensive line is not doing their job. So if they can't get anybody up there blocking, those guys in the backfield are going to have a very, very long night.
And on the carry, on that last play, Jordan Feuderman from New York. He's in the backfield behind Noland here on 2nd down and 13. Noland back to throw, looking left, pressure. Escapes that, escapes another would-be sack, and is going to get positive yardage back to the original line of scrimmage. A gain of 3, but boy, he is in some trouble quickly back there in the pocket. Able to make the best of it there. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up. Noland will come to the sideline and get some instructions from George Teague, and it looks like that'll be the end of the first quarter here at AT&T Stadium.
You need to get something done with that offensive line. But I'm trust Coach Hooks down there to get it together. I know they'll make the necessary adjustments and get this ball moving a little better for them.
We'll step aside, come back for the second quarter after this. The West leading the East 3-0. This is the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Back at AT&T Stadium with Shelton Jackson, I'm Ryan Castle here on the Impact Football Network. The West leading the East 3-0 in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl here at AT&T Stadium. A 48-yard field goal by Gabe Burkich, the only scoring in that first 16 minutes. And now the East will turn around and go left to right here to start the second quarter. And before the first snap, let's go down field side to Mercedes Owens.
All right.
Hey guys, I'm down here with Brian O'Hava. He is headed to North Dakota State in the fall. How exciting is that for you?
Oh, I'm super excited. Excited to get down there, and they're a really good program, so hope we get some more national championships when I'm there.
Was there anything specific that stood out to you that made your decision there?
Their coaches, they really cared about me when I got there. And I felt that, and it felt like my hometown feels, so that made me decide right away.
And let's talk about blue-gray football right now. How's your experience been? What do you have to say about this stadium and this opportunity?
This opportunity is great. I'm thankful for it. The stadium's beautiful. Can't play a much better stadium.
Well, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. They're going to need you any second now, so get back out there. Ryan, Sheldon, back to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Mercedes, thanks very much. The East unable to pick up a first down, and so having to punt the ball back to the West. Here underway in the second quarter at AT&T Stadium, the West will take back over, leading 3-0, and they'll start from their own 17-yard line. A nice punt on that last effort by the East. That was number 27, Nick Mihalik from Niles, North Illinois. Got a good flip-flop kick. So now the West will go to work offensively. And they'll hand off on first down. Good push up front. And across the 20 up to about the 23-yard line comes the ball carrier. And as they unstack, we'll try to get that number for you. Sort of tough to read those West jerseys, but it looks like 25, Sidney Fout of Panama, Oklahoma got that carry. And a nice carry it was, a gain of 6. And Sheldon, help me out here if you can. And the quarterback for the West on this particular series. Here's another handoff, and a great play made by the East in there in a hurry to make the stop.
That quarterback is number 2, Jack Alexander out of Redondo Union, California.
Boy, great defensive play there by the East.
In games like this too, Ryan, when you don't have as much time to work on an offense, defense tends to shine a little better because it's more reactionary. Offense, you need to build chemistry with guys in order to make things work.
So a third down here for the West after a loss of 4 on that play defensively made by the East. Here's a quick pass to the right side. A catch is made. And look at him breaking a couple of tackles, getting out of what looked like was going to be an immediate tackle. Nice play there by Alexander Wise, and he gets the necessary yardage for a first down up to the 31-yard line.
Very elusive. I mean, like you said, you thought he was down, and he was able to fight and get a few more yards. That's a very good athlete right there. That's exactly what coaches want to see for that next level.
So first down for the West. They get up to the 31-yard line. And Jack Alexander to work out of the gun. Back to throw on first down. Looking deep, looking left, and the ball is incomplete and nearly intercepted.
By number 31, Will Morse out of North Platte High School, Missouri.
And Morris nearly looked like the receiver on that play. The ball was severely underthrown by Alexander. It'll be second down.
Great job keeping his eyes on the quarterback and just kind of walking and backpedaling into the area where the ball was going.
So second down for the West, 13:40 to play here in the second quarter. And both teams going to the air quite a bit. And Alexander looking to throw again. We'll try to run it to the sideline, throw back across the field, and the catch is made up close to midfield. Bit of a dangerous throw from Alexander there, but the catch made by Eric Pizarro nearly picked off, but Pizarro able to make the catch and get a first down to the West 49-yard line.
Good primetime catch right there. In traffic, taking the hit, coming down, going up strong, coming down with the ball, keeping this team on the field just a little longer. Great job by Pizarro.
It was good pocket presence there from Alexander. Also noticed the pressure coming, escaped quickly to his right, and threw it back to the middle of the field, which is sometimes a dangerous thing to do, but made the completion to Pizarro. And now he's back to throw again. Quickly left, catch is made. And a nice run here by the slot receiver on this play.
Nathan Holmes, number 6,
yep,
out of Palmer Ridge High School, Colorado.
Nicely done there by Nathan. A first down catch and run. And the West is putting together some nice plays here. They get to the East 41-yard line and will have a first down. They'll break the huddle. It'll be Dominic Palmer, slot on the right. Alexander Wise is wide to the right. Alexander, the shotgun quarterback, back to throw, looking left, now looking right, rolling the pocket to his right, plants, fires deep right, and it is caught in bounds at the 20-yard line. Wow, getting up and climbing the ladder is the receiver, Alexander Wise, with a first down catch to the East 21-yard line, make it the 20-yard line.
And you know, in high school, you can just get 1 foot in, but I think he may have got 2 in on that play.
It
was a great job.
It was really well done there. A pretty nice throw by Alexander Wise's, or by Jack Alexander, I should say, as well. So it was Jack Alexander to Alexander Wise if you're scoring at home. And a first down for the West at the East 20-yard line. The West already leading 3-0. And they'll hand off here on first down. Nice carry right up the middle by Jalen Colbert from Overland, Colorado. He'll get to the 14-yard line for a gain of 6.
Number 53, Nicholas Evans from Maysville High School in Missouri. He thinks he got the ball out. Thinks they got turnover on downs. Great job tackling. I think he got the ball out.
Wow, they did call it a fumble, and it's recovered by the East.
Great job on Nicholas Evans. Great job coming up and making a hit and getting that ball. That's textbook things right there. Not only did he make contact and bring the ball player down, but he was able to rip the ball out and take the ball away, which is also the whole point of playing this game, get the football.
So that is already the 3rd or 4th lost fumble that we've seen by the offense in this ball game so far. We still have 12:20 to play in the second quarter, so ball security has been a major issue for both teams. And now the East will go to work on offense starting from its own 14-yard line. Wyatt Rector from Florida is back in there at quarterback. And he will turn and hand off on first down. Not much push up front. And nowhere to go for the running back on that play. It was Shea Goss from Lancaster, Ohio. Gain of nothing. It'll be second down coming up.
Good tackle right there by, I think, number 43. Let's see.
43 for the West would be Samote Patterson Samate.
Yes.
Grandview, Colorado. So second down and 10 after the carry by Goss for no gain. And Rector will again be in the gun. Goss directly behind him, slot right. And they'll run a misdirection, another little end around play. This time to Foley, who's a big receiver, more like a tight end. And, well, the West had that sniffed out pretty well. Big loss on the play. Another nice defensive play. And the East tried that again. They fumbled the first time. This time they lose big yardage. It'll be third down and long coming up.
Ryan, you see the number on defense?
I did not. But it was a really nice play made there by the West. And Rector will be back in the gun on third down and 15. Back to throw. Not much time. Has to escape out to his left. Now has some room to run. 15-20. Sideline 25. Walks out of bounds. It's going to be a gain of 16 there. And pretty close to the marker. Well, that was well done there by Rector. Lots of pressure coming right up the middle. He escaped out left.
And was pushed out of bounds by number 28, Connor Christofferson, out of Park City High School in Utah.
Looks like they might have given him a bit of a poor spot there. I thought he got to the 25-yard line, but they stop him at the 23, and so that means the East will have to punt. So out there to handle the punting chores will be Mihalik. And let's see if we can get an eye on who is back deep
Ryan,
for the West.
Sorry, I don't know if you've noticed, but number 77 for the East was Kurt Danaker out of Williamsport area, commit to University of Ohio, was being escorted off to the bench like he'd been banged up a little bit.
Here's the punt by Mihalik. Fair catch called for and made, sliding to an E by the West right there. Patrick Jackson from Kilgore, Texas, making the fair catch at the 44-yard line. And that's where the West will take back over, fumbling on their last possession. Well, the West has been the better offense to this point. They've been able to move the football against the East. Unfortunately, they've been haltered by a couple of turnovers.
It's been that kind of night, it seems. I guess nobody really wants to win this game.
Well, we did hear from Travis West with Mercedes a little bit ago that he said he was just looking to get the win, which I thought was an interesting response. We talked earlier that a lot of these players probably just sort of guessing, and I know you've been around the players, but really just more concerned with themselves in an All-American Bowl like this. But Travis West coming out and saying, no, he wants to get the win. We know the coaching staffs want to win. That's a given. And here's a nice play on first down, gain of about 8 yards on a handoff. It'll be second down and short coming up.
You know, I mentioned that young man, number 77, Kurt Danaker, again, but it looks like he's up and about, and they're trying to figure him out and see if he can get down in his O-line position. It looks like he's struggling a little bit. Look at some pain in his legs.
And we're going to go after this play down to Mercedes Owens. Here's a handoff coming right up the middle. That's Wilkerson for a first down inside the East 45-yard line. Mercedes, take it away.
Hey guys, I've got Connor Nolan down here now. He's from Greenwood, Arkansas. Welcome to Dallas. What do you think?
Thank you very much. You know, it's a great place to play, obviously, and I'm just having fun out here.
A year ago, would you think you'd be playing in AT&T Stadium? It might be something to get used to, right?
Definitely. It's a lot different than high school field, obviously coming from Arkansas. So, you know, I'm just having a lot of fun out here, and definitely different.
And you've got big plans for the fall. Connor, tell us where you're going.
I'm going to the University of Arkansas, and, you know, I'm going to play quarterback, and I'm also going to play baseball there.
Oh, very cool. Double it up. I didn't know that.
Yes, yep. I'm going to play both with Coach Morris, obviously, and then Coach Van Horn.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you out there. Have fun. Has Coach Teague told you anything you're going to take home with you?
You know, there's been a lot of stuff to take home, obviously. Some of it off the field, so it's been some good stuff. I couldn't point out a specific thing, so there's been a lot of good stuff.
Maybe some of it off camera, too.
Yeah, probably.
As long as you're having fun, that's what matters.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt.
Awesome. Well, good luck today. You've got some work to do. We're down by 3.
I know, we're getting there.
Well, good luck. Thanks so much, Connor. Hey, Ryan, Sheldon, we'll take it back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, thanks very much. Connor Noland, commit to the University of Arkansas. A new head coach there for the Razorbacks, Chad Morris, who will come over from SMU. Former offensive coordinator at Clemson and a high school football coach here in the state of Texas down at Lake Travis High School was his last stop in the high school ranks. And Noland may very well play on this field again. Of course, Arkansas plays a neutral site game against Texas A&M here every year in the SEC, so this may not be the last time that he sees this field. The West with the ball, moving it well. Alexander in at quarterback, back to throw. Penalty flag is down. Alexander plants and fires deep end zone. It's picked off. Intercepted by the East, and here comes the return out from the goal line up to the 20-yard line. And I think, Sheldon, that the penalty flag I was mentioning a second ago is holding against the offense. If that's the case, it'll be declined, and the interception will stand. And it appears that's going to be the case.
Waiting for the final word.
It is holding against the offense, so that'll be declined, and it'll be the East taking back over after the interception of Jack Alexander.
Was that number 40 on the interception?
I think so. I think you're right about that.
Number Zach Porter out of Columbus High School, Kansas.
So a nice play made by him. The ball kind of floated up deep by Alexander, and Porter able to step in front and make the pick. So first down for the East, and Cade Flanagan is back in there at quarterback, back to throw with no time. He'll have to just sort of try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Cade Finnegan from Woodrow Wilson High School here right in Dallas. It'll be 2nd down and 12 after a loss of 2.
That tackle was by number 57, Griffin Hunt, out of Lovejoy High School, right here in Texas.
Had the pleasure of watching Griffin play high school football there at Lovejoy High School. Very good defensive lineman for Coach Todd Ford at Lovejoy High School. Here's a handoff right up the middle, and a nice carry of the football across the 20 up to about the 22. On the carry that time for the East was Joseph Kellum out of New Jersey, and he gains positive yardage back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up for the East with 7 minutes to play here in the 2nd quarter.
I don't know, Ryan, how do you think it's playing out? I mean, with this new defensive front that Coach Gus Bell has put out here, this 4-4 front, it's making it real difficult for these guys to get running lanes.
Yeah, you're right about that. The offensive lines have sort of struggled to block those fronts on the defensive side. The quarterbacks haven't had a ton of time to throw. Here's Finnegan running for his life again back there. Throws it out right, and the ball is caught and then dropped in and out of the hands of the intended receiver over here on the near sideline. That was number 5, Sanders once again, who's been one of the main targets of Finnegan when those two have been on the field. But incomplete pass that time, and it'll be time to punt once again. A lot of work here for the punter for the East. That's number 27, Nick Mihalik out of Illinois. Back deep to return, Darryl Crockett for the West. Along with number 31, I believe, that is Patrick Jackson. High end-over-end punt. And Jackson ranges underneath it and loses his footing as he tried to get the return going. Falls down at the 35-yard line.
Great job and confidence and focus on keeping up with that ball and catching it while he was kind of falling down and losing his footing.
It wasn't quite able to get underneath that punt, which was a little surprising because it had good hang time. Not sure if Jackson just didn't see it well off the foot of Mihalik, but whatever the case is, Jackson with no return, and West will start with the ball at the 35-yard line. 6:23 to play here in the first half. 3-0 West leading. And it's Wingle back in there at quarterback. He'll hand off on a jet sweep on first down. Nice carry across the 40, across the 45, up to the 46-yard line, and a gain of 11.
Gosh, I'm trying to get that young man's number. That play doesn't even work without this pancake block. If I can just get him to turn around, I can see his jersey. I think it's number 25 for the West team, Mr. Sidney Fout. Yeah, great job. I mean, great pancake. He just completely drove his player into the ground, which will open that lane up for that running back. It's an interesting story about him. I'll tell you in a moment.
Fout's the H-back on the left here, and a handoff once again to the running back. And let's see here, that is number 30 for the West. That is Hayden Chittum. And a loss on the play here.
Had a chance to talk with Mr. Fouts for a little bit over the last couple of days. And, I mean, young man lost his mother when he was 6. His father disowned him. He was up here with his grandparents, and he was during the registration. He couldn't. He had someone else's mother walked with him through registration, so he made sure he got everything. His grandparents was a little too tired after the trip down here to go through registration. It was just a good young man, good solid young player, and I hope that he's able to find a place and find a school to go to after his opportunities here at Blue Gray.
That is an incredible story, no doubt about it, and a great play made by him a couple of downs ago. Here an incomplete pass intended for Joshua Tips. And it's going to be 3rd down and 14 coming up here for the West. Backed up here on this possession. It was a pretty good throw there by Wingle. Braden Wingle is in at quarterback right now, the 6'5" quarterback from Bakersfield. And Tips went up and was able to touch it but not grab it. And now Wingle back to throw again, deep out to the left. Broken up nicely on the play defensively by the East. And that was number 28, Mike Mincy, the cornerback from Boyd Buchanan High School in Tennessee. There was a penalty flag down in the backfield. And this will be against the offense, so the East will no doubt decline that and force the West to punt the ball away with 5:05 left here in the second quarter.
It's a good job by the defense breaking up on that play, but I'd like to see a receiver fight a little harder for the ball when they come back out of the break like that. Don't just succeed the play to the defense. Let's fight a little harder. That's what coaches want to see at the next level.
So here's the punt by the West. Good spiraling kick. It'll bounce at the 20-yard line. And now it is fielded, and it's loose. And the West with a chance to return it.
Looks like they're going to get it back with great field position.
Archer sort of just playing center field there. I think it might have.
East ball.
Yeah, East ball, so they'll retain possession. They were able to get on it, and a great play made there as they unstack. It looked like Elijah McKinney for the East was the one able to get back and recover it, but sort of a dangerous play there by Archer to decide to field that ball. I can understand where he's coming from, but it really looked like that one might have had enough juice to go into the end zone if he lets it go by, but
exactly.
Nevertheless, it'll be East ball starting at the 15-yard line. And they will have Connor Noland, who we just heard from a moment ago, in at quarterback. Shea Goss will be the running back directly behind Noland in the pistol. Slot right, first down for the East from the 16-yard line. And they're going to hand it to Goss, coming right up the middle through a hole, across the 20, fighting for a couple of extra feet, and gets to the 21, gain of 5. Well, Shea Goss is not a big guy. He's from Ohio, 5'11", listed at 220. He doesn't look quite 220, but runs hard.
It doesn't hurt when you're running behind a pretty nice-sized guy in number 55, Jerome Hamilton Jr., out of the Academy of Holy Angels in Minnesota. I saw him on that last play just put his guy on his back. So you got offensive linemen put defensive linemen on their back. It makes it easy for you to run behind them.
Noland with a quick throw and a catch made. Far side outside the numbers and enough for a first down. So the East will move the chains. Clock will stop with 4:08 to play here in the second quarter. Connor Noland from Greenwood, Arkansas, committed to play for Chad Morris at the University of Arkansas. Well, that's got to be exciting for him. Chad Morris, known as an offensive guru in his time at Clemson and SMU. Noland out of the pistol, back to throw quickly into the slot on the right, and the catch is made. That's Savon Stewart, number 4 from Henry County, Tennessee. And he's going to gain about 6 or 7 up to the 32-yard line.
Good job by number 31, Patrick Jackson, out of Kilgore High School here in Texas, making that open field tackle and not letting them have any more yards than what they did get on the pass.
So Noland again in the pistol. Goss is directly behind him. Noland quickly back to throw. Plants, fires across the middle. Incomplete. Behind the intended receiver, Cole De Los Santos from Missouri. And it will be 3rd down and 4 coming up for the East. Well, Noland has good pocket presence. And when he has time to throw, has been able to find receivers. They really haven't challenged down the field with Noland in there. Let's see if they do that here on 3rd down and 4. Ball at the 32-yard line of the East. Noland will take the snap, back to throw, 3-step drop, moves the pocket to the right, and in some trouble, and lost the ball, but it's out of bounds. Nice play made defensively by the West, and very little blocking to speak of up front by the East. That was Jace Rogers from Rusk, Texas, who made the play defensively for the West.
You know, in this game, they're not allowed to do stunts nor do blitzes, but they are allowed to rush one of the 4 linebackers if they put their hand on the ground. So that could also be part of the reason they're not being able to get the ball down, because they're getting pressure back there too fast. The quarterbacks just don't have enough time to get the ball, to air it out.
So Mihalik will punt. Good snap. Gets away a good punt. High spiraling kick. And Crockett will let it bounce in front of him. And it will be killed at the 27-yard line. So the punt there of 42 yards. No return. And it'll be West ball. 2:36 to play, second quarter, 3-0, West leading. The ball at the 26-yard line for the West, and we'll take a look down there and see who they have in at quarterback. I believe it's time for Jack Alexander, and that looks like exactly who it is down there, number 2. We'll confirm that here in just a moment. Oh no, it is another quarterback, number 14 for the West. This is Braden Wingle back in there once again, and he fires it out right and complete for a first down across the 35-yard line. Up to the 38. Alexander Wise in there at wide receiver, lined up wide to the right side of the formation. Joshua Tips is wide to the left. The slot is on the left as well. And Wingle will throw left. That is caught by Tips. And not much of a run after the catch. Chopped short of the 45-yard line. It's a gain of about 6 there for Tips on the completed pass from Wingle. It'll be second down coming up.
You know, you always like to get, if you could break out a hitch route and get yards after that, that's great. But usually when you run a hitch, the yards that the offense coordinator is trying to get are built into the route. So great job by Joshua making that catch and just being a good, solid, sound possession receiver on that play.
We have Mercedes down on the sideline. She's with the East Max Siegel. Mercedes?
Ron. Hey guys, I'm down here with Max Siegel out of Indiana, and he just told me it's his first time here in Dallas, and look, he's playing at AT&T Stadium. Max, how do you like Blue Gray football?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of good guys here, a lot of competitive guys, and just really enjoying the time out here.
Did you know anyone here before you came down?
I didn't. I knew of one of our tackles. He goes to Penn, which is it's North Indiana, so I saw him play and stuff like that.
But now you'll be leaving with much more than just one acquaintance. And again, tell me about the experience and just the team bonding and getting to know some of these guys.
It's been a lot of fun. Last night, the offensive line had a pool party in the hotel. But it's been a lot of fun. It's just getting to know each other. I mean, we're spending like the entire day together, just hanging out. So it's been a lot of fun.
Would you recommend it? Would you come back, or what do you tell people about your experience here?
I definitely recommend it. I would come back. It's really nice to be able to be surrounded by a bunch of guys that are just as competitive as you are and just want to get better.
And you're headed to the University of Pennsylvania in the fall?
Yes, I am.
Good luck, Max. Thanks so much. And you got to do some work out there. Go out there and hold the line. We got to get the East team back up.
Yeah, I will. That's the plan. That's the plan.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, thanks very much. Max Siegel joining Mercedes Owens down on the sideline. Meanwhile, the West looking at a 3rd down and 4 after an incompletion by Wingle. So a 3rd down and about 4 from their own 44-yard line. 1:20 to play here in the second quarter. Now they do have 3 timeouts up on the board. Wingle back to throw with time, looking deep down the left side. Man open, Tips. And he had gotten behind the defender, but not able to haul it in. Incomplete, and it'll be 4th down.
You're not going to have too many opportunities like that.
I thought that was it right there, didn't you?
Just when we talked about a deep pass. So, brings up 4th down, and they're going to punt it out.
So this will be Ryan Wright from California back to do the punting chores, and true Dale Archer will go back to return for the East. Archer fumbled his last time out, so we'll see if he takes a different approach here.
Perhaps the butterflies are settled for this young man. I watched him yesterday do a kickoff return and just blew past everybody. Made everybody look they were standing still, so I'm hoping he can do the same thing just right now.
The East nearly gets there to block it. This is a shanked punt off the side of Wright's foot. It'll go out of bounds at the East 47-yard line. Wright, it appeared, was hit, but that ball might have been partially blocked. And it means good field position here for the East with 1:04 to play in quarter number 2. And the East will start up around midfield.
Great job on the rush to help get that punt shanked, if you will. Just getting back there, Bryce Johnson, number 57, out of Huntington High School in Tennessee. A lot to be said about a young man showing such great effort on the special teams.
So let's see what the East can do offensively here. Down 3-0 with 1:04 to play in the second quarter and starting at their 47-yard line. This is Wyatt Rector in there at quarterback. Back to throw. It's picked off, intercepted, and this could be it. To the 20. Rector, the guy to beat. And he knocks the return man out of bounds on the interception.
Number 20,
Michael Jewett.
We mentioned his name a couple times today, didn't we?
Boy, he just jumped that out route and nearly took it for 6.
Great job on the play. I mean, that was textbook. That wasn't anything fancy. He dropped back into coverage, and he was just happened to be in the passing lane, the quarterback in that out route. Great job.
And give a lot of credit there to Wyatt Rector, the quarterback, who obviously threw the interception on the play, but he showed good hustle to stay in the play and knocked Jewett out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And now it's on the East defense to hold them to a field goal try here. This will be Jack Alexander in at quarterback. To his left is Heath Humphreys, the running back. And they'll give it to Humphreys, trying behind the right guard, and nice penetration by the East to get there in a hurry. Looked like number 32, one of the first there, Cannon Daniel.
And number 48, Cannon Reed.
So a couple of guys there for the East. Timeout is going to be called by the West with 40 seconds to play here in the half. So a great job by both defenses here in this first half. Just 3 points offensively and a lot of takeaways by both sides. The defenses being opportunistic, able to strip the ball on a couple of occasions. There have been an interception now in the ball game, and really the defenses have played quite well in this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl.
I agree. They, the offensive defensive coordinators, mainly the defensive coordinators, done a great job of giving these guys the green light to just play football. So these coaches and scouts, whoever may be watching this game, can see these guys in the natural light, let them let their skills and just kind of just showcase what they can do.
And I would think, Sheldon, that in an All-American Bowl like this, we mentioned earlier that, you know, these players have only had a couple of days to be together. I would think the defenses would be further ahead than the offenses just naturally. Here's a handoff over the left side, and that's Wilkerson fighting towards the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal, stopped at the 1-yard line, and another timeout is called by the West.
And that stop came by linebacker number 35, Andre Reed, out of Virginia. And Ryan, to touch on what you said earlier, you're right. You're 100% right. Defense is more reactionary, so it's easy to respond and react to what you see offenses do. Offense requires the timing. Whether you're the lineman, whether you're the receiver, running back, everybody has to be in tune with each other. So 2 days is just very difficult to acquire that timing with a bunch of different kids from a bunch of different programs throughout the country. Nobody running the same thing. Now you got to get them here and learn a new terminology and all that. So it's very difficult for an offense to gel in such a short amount of time. But defense, if you're a decent athlete, you can shine.
So here comes the West. Back out onto the field. The scoreboard shows that they do have 1 timeout left. This is 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. Alexander's going to come under center. He's going to try to sneak it for the touchdown, and he won't get it. He is hit backwards.
Good defensive push on the goal line. The East is not going to back down lightly. You got to come up with something better than that.
Yeah, that was, well, Mark McMillan has probably had better play calls in his time, I would think. And I think he would probably agree with that.
I don't see how you figured that. They were going to allow that one. The East going to allow that up the middle like that. But, hey, it's an all-star game. You try what you can. Give these kids a chance to just go out and perform.
So timeout called with 24 seconds. You see the clock running there on our screen. That's obviously not accurate. Timeout has been called. 24 seconds, and now a decision for Coach Mark McMillan. 4th and goal. They actually lost a yard on that QB sneak, which is sort of a hard thing to do, but it'll be the 4th and goal at the 2-yard line. It'll be interesting to see here. Now, Sheldon, it may be that the rules dictate they must try a field goal here, but if they do decide to go for it, it'll be interesting to see what their plan of attack here is offensively. And it looks like they will have the offense out there on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line.
The way the defense is playing, why not? Let's give it a chance. The defense will hold up.
Jack Alexander, the shotgun quarterback. He will throw. Fade pattern, deep corner. It is incomplete.
Oh, right on
Had the
tip of
receiver, Alexander Wise, the intended target. And a nice play made there defensively. Once again by the East, and that is just really well done there, Sheldon, by the East defense. After the interception was returned to the 5-yard line, they give up 3 yards, and the West ends up turning it over on downs. East will take over with 19 seconds.
Like number 17 was the defensive back on that play. And Tyler Mitchell out of Shelton, Texas.
So now if you're the East, what do you try to do here? Probably try to be conservative, I would think, with 19 seconds left. Yeah. Ball is inside your 5-yard line.
You have all your timeouts. Yeah, you be conservative, maybe the first play, second play, just to give your quarterback maybe a little more room. But you got to give it a chance and air it out. Get one of these fast runners to get down the middle of the field.
Yeah, they're going to bring the quarterback under center and just sneak it ahead. They gain a yard up to the 5-yard line.
They went super conservative on that play, Ryan.
It was maybe as conservative as you could get without taking a knee. And they're just going to let the clock wind down here in the second quarter, and that'll be the end of the first half. Here at AT&T Stadium, the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl has the West squad on top of the East. 3-0. This is the Impact Football Network and our coverage of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. Our coverage will continue here at AT&T Stadium in a moment. Now before we go to commercial break, we'll have Mercedes Owens down on the sideline. Mercedes?
Hey guys, I've got head coach Mark McMillan over here with the West team. 3-0. It was pretty tight out there, but you're going to walk away with the lead at halftime.
Yeah, it was a tough battle. You know, we wish we'd have punched it in right here on the 1-yard line. We can't get it in, but we'll take it coming in at halftime, and we'll get the ball in the second half.
So when you go to the locker room, what do you tell these guys? I mean, the game is for fun, but you still want to win.
Yeah, we got to make it on the first and goal on the 1-yard line. You got to be able to punch that in. So I'll probably rip into them a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's still about having fun.
Rip into them. You got to go easy. You got to make them laugh and smile.
No, this is still football now, you know, so I'm gonna let them hear it. So hopefully we can come out in the second half and make it a little bit more exciting and put some points up.
Well, you heard it here first. Blue-Gray football, not playing games. We are serious down here. Well, Coach, we'll get you back into the locker room and see you next half. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Mercedes, thanks very much. 3-0, the West leading at halftime here at AT&T Stadium. Our coverage here from the home of the Dallas Cowboys of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl will continue in a moment.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Get your ass, please, too. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that laughter makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but it would be safe to keep your distance until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Bring this sweet.
Welcome back inside AT&T Stadium. I'm Ryan Castle with Sheldon Jackson, our entire Impact Football Network crew. Mercedes Owens down on the sidelines. And to start the third quarter, it will be the East team kicking deep to the West. The West leading 3-0. A Gabe Burkich 48-yard field goal, the scoring in the first half. And so we'll see what sort of halftime adjustments were made by these respective coaching staffs. And the West squad will go out on offense to begin this third quarter. Kicking off deep for the East will be Sterling Stockwell from Dr. Phillips High School in Florida. So here's the kick, high, deep, end over end. 2 yards deep in the end zone, and here comes the return. Out to the 5, turning left at the 10. On the return, this is Dominic Palmer. Nice job to cut up the sideline across the 15 and up to the 17-yard line. Palmer showing some patience there, waiting for the blocking to develop. And the West will begin from its own 17-yard line.
Good job by number 52, Bradley Long, out of Crest High School in North Carolina. Not letting that one get any uglier than it could have been by letting that running back get outside of him.
And I think the special teams have played pretty well so far in the game. We've seen good coverage, the one muffed punt by the East in that first half. But other than that, really solid play on both sides on special teams.
Very much so. You can win or lose a game when the special teams play. So these guys have done a really good job just putting these players in the right position, these coaches.
And Braden Wingle will get the first snap of the football in the third quarter for the West. And he hands it off on first down, not much of a gain. Up to about the 20, gain of 2. And it'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up. And let's see here. This is Heath Humphreys in there at running back right now from Talahena, Oklahoma. And Humphreys will get the call here on 2nd and 8. Tries to cut it up, crosses the 20, and gets to the 22-yard line. A gain of a couple will set up a 3rd down and a long 5 here.
Then got to credit. Sorry. Then we got to credit the tackle for it too. Number 33, Everett Williams, 226-2 linebacker out of Lexington High School out of Alabama. Good job getting an arm on the legs to get him down.
So a 3rd down and 6 here for the West on the first drive of the third quarter. They need to get to their 28-yard line for a 1st down. Wingle out of the gun, back to throw. Straight drop, floats it out left. Man open, tips with a catch, running away, lost the ball.
That just happened.
And the East will recover right at midfield.
Again.
Unbelievable. Tips with a catch, started running away from the defense. If he's able to break a tackle, he might be on his way to the end zone. And instead, somebody for the East able to get a paw on the football and jar it loose. And they recover at the 50. Wow, that is the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen a receiver fumble the ball down the field.
You know, one of the things I asked the kids during the registration was whether or not they could bench press their 225 mark. There's so many kids that could not. My challenge was to these kids, understand going to Division I college, you've got to get your strength level up. That should not be happening.
So East will take over on offense, and a handoff, big play, 1st down. Up the middle, inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line. A good carry there for the East. And as they unstack, it looks like number 15 on the call there, Reese Sela from Shawnee, Kansas, with a nice carry and a 1st down for the East.
Good tackle by number 29, Estevan Berrigan out of Central Valley High School in California. Without him making that play, this could have been 6 points for the East team.
The East team trying to take the lead. Back to throw is Cade Finnegan. Dumps it off right to Sela. Nice block at the point of attack. And Sela will get a 1st down. Coming back to make that block was Jerquan Sanders, the receiver, and that gave Sela enough room to get the 1st down. So Cade Finnegan right now in there at quarterback. The senior from Woodrow Wilson High School right here in Dallas, Texas. And he will be in the pistol. Sela will be behind him, slot right. Sanders is wide to the right. First down from the 26, and the give is to Sela, trying behind
Holding.
left tackle.
Holding.
And he is brought down in the backfield for a loss. 2 penalty flags are down on the play, and for the West, in to make the tackle was big number 90, John Graves from Lancaster, Texas. And not to mention the tackle for loss, but there was also a holding against the offense, so sort of just a bad play all around there for the offensive line. So that'll make it first down and 20. 13:42 to play here in the third. 3-0 the West with the lead. And they'll move the ball back to the 36-yard line where it'll be first and 20 for the East.
I believe that previous holding call was on number 71, Yan Salmon out of Fort Osage. He's a big one, 6'3", 330.
Well, Finnegan out of the pistol, back to throw on first and 20 with pressure. Now will run it himself, being a little loose with the football. Will secure it and slide feet first to the 32-yard line, a gain of 4, and it'll be second and 16 coming up for the East. And this has sort of been the story offensively, Sheldon, for both teams, is the ability to move the ball well and then have something stall the drive out, whether it be a penalty or a turnover.
That's the case. You know, we talked about it earlier. I hate to kind of beat a dead horse with this, but it's just the offense. You need time to gel and work out those kinks and to find that rhythm. And it's just difficult to do with just 2 practices.
Finnegan back to throw on second and 16. Across the middle, the ball is nearly intercepted. Well, the safety there playing center field had that one in the breadbasket and could not haul in what was a pretty easy interception to make there. That was number 29, the safety, Esteban Barragan from California. And, well, that's a pass that he would like to have back, and it's a pass that Cade Finnegan would like to have back as well. And you're right, I did see a holding there on the left tackle. That was not called by the official. So the East catching a break on a couple of different spectrums there. It'll be 3rd and 16 coming up. And if you're Coach George Teague, you think about maybe trying to get in field goal range, try to tie the game. Finnegan on a play fake, screen left, catch is made, and here's the run inside the 25.
You must have been on
the 21-yard line.
You must have heard the play calling, or he must have heard you.
That's
now
right.
They're in field position now.
They are short of the first down, but the screen pass gets them to the 20, and so that'll be in field goal range, and they're going to send on the kicker, Stirring it is, according to our roster, Stirring Stockwell, who will line one up from the left hash. Now this will be a 39-yard attempt. Nick Mihalik, the punter, will hold. And so the first opportunity for Stockwell from the left hash from 39 yards out to tie the game. It has plenty of distance, and it is right down the middle. And the game is tied with 11:41 to play in the third quarter. After the turnover by the West, the East capitalizes. A 39-yard field goal by Stirring Stockwell, and the game is tied at 3.
Seems like a reasonably exciting game, even with the kind of lackluster offensive performance. Defense is stepping up really well. So again, a lot of these kids you never heard of, I'm sure are getting some recognition now for what they're doing on this field. Very proud of their effort out there.
Well, I would say that so far in this third quarter, we've seen the offenses be a little bit more potent. The West had a couple of nice runs. They had the nice catch by Tips before the fumble, and then the East getting some good play from Reese Sila, who had a nice run and a catch out of the backfield, and then the screen pass to set up the field goal. 39 yards by Stockwell, and the game is now tied at 3. Here comes the ensuing kickoff. Back deep to return for the West will be Dominic Palmer and Eric Pizarro. And the one thing that you sometimes see in these All-American games is either the punt returner or the kick returner get a chance to run one back. We haven't really seen that just yet. And give credit to these kickers for not giving them that chance. Here's a line drive, end
They'll get a
over end
chance
kick.
now.
Here's a chance for Pizarro from the 2. Out to the 10, 15, 20. Big hedge 30. Look out, he's running free 40. Trying to beat the kicker to the sideline. He does to the 50 and to
One
the
man to
30.
beat.
And he will be tackled at the 25-yard line. Right on cue. Eric Pizarro, big return for the West. Down deep inside East territory at the 24-yard line.
Again, I have to say, were you in the huddle when they called that play?
I'm 2 for 2 in the half, my friend.
Credit that tackle, number 28, Mike Mincy, out of Boyd Buchanan High School, coming out of Tennessee.
Touchdown saving tackle indeed. Nice angle taken and able to knock Pizarro down, but not before he got a big return. Starting at the 23-yard line is the West. And Braden Wingle back to throw, looking left out into the flat. It's nearly intercepted. And the route was jumped there nicely by the East. That was 48.
Cannon Reed.
Cannon Reed who made a nice play.
Out of Kentucky. You like to see, it's a great job putting his hands up and getting the ball knocked down, but you definitely like to see him maybe take it one step further. Go ahead and catch that ball, and he'd still be running right now. Put up more points for your team.
So tied at 3, 11:22 to play in the third quarter. And Braden Wingle in there at quarterback for the West, a 2nd and 10. And back to throw, going fade left side, man open, it's caught to the pylon, touchdown. The West scores. On the catch is Thomas Williams, who you mentioned earlier, Sheldon, that time getting a step on the defender, and a perfectly placed ball there by Wingle for the touchdown.
Real tough series for that one. The same young man that prevented his touchdown, number 28, Mike Mincy, is the same defensive back that just gave up a touchdown. That's a tough spot to be in.
So the first end zone trip for either team, and now the try for extra point from Gabe Burkich. As the West responds with a touchdown drive after the big return from Pizarro. Then a 23-yard touchdown pass from Braden Wingle to Thomas Williams. 10-3, West leading, 11:15 to play here in the third at AT&T Stadium. And our coverage of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl will continue in a moment.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Back here at AT&T Stadium, I'm Ryan Castle with former Nebraska Cornhusker and Buffalo Bill Sheldon Jackson. 10-3, West leading the East here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. 11:15 to play, third quarter, and a touchdown pass from Braden Wingle to Thomas Williams. A nice response by the West. They get a nice kickoff return from Eric Pizarro deep into East territory, and then 2 plays later they get the touchdown. And here's the kickoff from Burkich. High end over end, and this will be a chance to return for the East. This is Elijah McKinney on the return, and he has a nice hold up the numbers across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. And beg your pardon on the return, that was Tyler Mitchell, number 17. Tyler Mitchell with the return to the East, about the 27-yard line or so, and that's where they'll take over. And out to be the signal caller here on the second drive of the third quarter will be Connor Noland. So George Teague sticking with what he had in the first half with Cade Finnegan playing the first series. And then Connor Noland the second. Here's a handoff, big hole right up the middle. Nice burst right up the seam across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. On the carry that time for the East was Jordan Feuderman from New York. And the 5'11", 175-pounder picks up 9.5.
And he has some big boys to run behind. That left guard was able to down block on the nose and just kind of open up a huge running lane for Mr. Futterman on that last play.
A second down and short. They'll again give it to Futterman, and he'll have a first down up to the 40-yard line. The quarterbacks, by the way, I've noticed, Sheldon, are having to come to the sideline for every play call, so that's another byproduct of having very little time to prepare offensively. Of course, in high school football and college football as well, you see the coaches on the sideline holding up signs with different logos on it. Some of them mean nothing, and others of them mean something, and it's just not something you can install in 2 days' time. So the quarterback's having to come to the sideline for the play call. And Nolan will go back to throw. Dumps it off into the right flat. Catch is made by Shea Goss, and Goss with a nice carry after the catch into West territory. Finally escorted out of bounds at the 45-yard line. A first down catch for Shea Goss.
Good tackle, number 28, Connor Christopherson, out of Park City, just getting the player out of bounds. Didn't bring him to the ground, but just getting him out of bounds, stopping the clock, and hopefully putting on a good stance here.
So the East trying to respond to the West touchdown. And Futterman will be in the backfield in the pistol, directly behind Noland. Slot right here on first down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Futterman takes the carry, bounces it right, and has some room, has a first down. Walks out of bounds inside the 35-yard line at the 33. Gain of 12 there for Jordan Futterman, and another East first down. Boy, he has really looked good on this drive for the East squad.
He's getting some solid blocking, too, not only in the interior, but he's also getting those receivers out there blocking. They're putting defensive backs on their behinds, and it's hard for someone to tackle you if they're sitting on their backside. So he's getting some good support from his teammates.
Noland again will hand off to Futterman, this time not much, coming right behind the right guard, and gains maybe a half of a yard, and that'll be all.
Contribute that tackle to number 98, Scott Jones Jr. out of Cactus High School, Arizona.
Connor Noland will head to the huddle, make the play call. And here they come to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 from the West 33. Noland in a pistol, H-back to the right, and looking to throw. Quick slant left, caught. And working outside the numbers is the receiver, gets to the sideline, gets to about the 30, maybe the 29, maybe now the 28, they say. And that might be good enough for a first down. Catch was made by Cole De Los Santos. His second catch of the ball game. He's going to be just short of another East first down. It'll be third down and less than a yard.
Cornerback on the play on the defensive side, number 19, Lane Rich, also out of Texas, Millsap High School.
Well, that was a nice job to wrestle De Los Santos out of bounds, stop him just short of a first down. But the East is in field goal range. Looking at a third down and less than a yard. Noland out of the pistol. Futterman is the running back. They'll give it to him. And on second effort, he will have a first down. Looked like he might have been stopped initially, Sheldon, but a nice job to elude the tackler. And he gets the necessary yardage for another first down.
Just enough to move the chains. Great job. But defensively, number 24, Logan Kelsey out of Henrietta High School out of Texas, there to make the stop.
So first down for the East, 7:50 to play here in the third quarter, 10-3, West leading. The East is threatening, just on the doorsteps of the red zone, towards the north end zone here at AT&T Stadium. And here's the snap. Nolan looking to throw, standing. Has all day, now some pressure from his backside. He'll roll to his right, pointing downfield, has some blocking. He's at the 10, he's at the 5 to the pylon, and he is out of bounds at the 1 yard line.
He ran out. He didn't take a chance for that end zone. He got out of bounds.
Yeah, You did not see him extend the football out trying to score there.
No, not at all.
And probably a wise call there by Connor Noland, but it'll be 1st and goal at the 1. Nice job there by Noland, escaping the pressure, then noticing he had some running room downfield.
Very wise play, wise decision on his part. Save the contact, you don't need it. Let's get up there. Chains get to move, now it's 1st on the 1. We got points coming out of here, almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed.
Well, that's what Mark McMillan thought
Right.
in the first half. We heard
Right.
him at halftime with Mercedes saying that he was most unhappy with his team's inability to punch it in from the 1-yard line. Let's see if George Teague's team is any better. 1st and goal at the 1. Noland in the gun, Feuderman the running back. And Noland's going to throw, quick slant across the middle. The ball's caught to the post. Touchdown, De Los Santos with a catch. And the East is an extra point away from tying the game again.
Looks like both teams made proper adjustments at half.
Boy, that was a really well-thrown ball there by Noland. I like the play call there from Coach Teague, a quick slant. And a nice job there by De Los Santos to cut that inside just at the right moment. The try for extra point from Stockwell is upcoming. Here's the snap, the kick. It is good, and the game is tied with 7:08 to play in the 3rd quarter. The East responds again, and we're tied at 10-all. We're going to go downstairs to Mercedes Owens, who's across the way. Mercedes, you're up.
We got to get the good lighting. Hey guys, I've got TK Wilkerson down here, and he's joining us from Oklahoma. How's it going? I mean, your team's up. Oh, well, we're tied. That just happened. What'd you hear in the locker room at halftime? Where do we got to go from here?
We got to keep pushing the ball. We got to finish at the end. That's all we're having trouble with is finishing. But I feel like we can push through and win.
But it's not just about winning. It's a whole experience. How have these last couple of days been?
Good. I met a lot of new people. It's always good to meet new people.
You kind of made a face like, no, it is kind of always about
winning. Yeah, we have to win.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. But you're headed to university in the fall. Where are you going?
TU.
TU. You're staying close to home, Oklahoma guy, going to University of Tulsa.
I got to stay around my mama.
Oh, I bet she's going to be your #1 fan in the stands.
Yes, she will.
Okay, so what are you looking forward to the most headed to TU?
Just playing with all the players and becoming developing more as a player and learning new things from coaches.
This definitely has to be a warm-up heading into this situation, not knowing a ton of people, and then getting out there and playing just 2 days later.
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but we can make it work.
And now you got to get out there and win, because he said that's what it's all about.
It's not all about winning, but 99.9% is about winning.
He's backing up, like retracing his steps right there. Well, TK, best of luck to you. Thanks for joining us right now. And guys, we'll take it back to you.
Okay, Mercedes, thanks very much. Good ball game here at AT&T Stadium. 7:01 to play in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 10. And the West has just been penalized on the ensuing kickoff, a holding call, and that'll move them back to the 10-yard line. That's where Coach Mark McMillan's team will begin.
Definitely don't want to speak too fast, but these offenses starting to click a little bit. So this is like a third practice for these guys in a sense.
Yeah, you're right about that. They have looked much better here in this 3rd quarter, and it started up front with the offensive lines. Here's Jack Alexander back in at quarterback. He's throwing, and out to the right, incomplete. Looking for his intended receiver. Looked like Eric Pizarro, the intended man, and couldn't quite get it. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up. So Alexander back in there after Braden Wingle led him on a touchdown drive the last time. Of course, that was helped mostly by the Eric Pizarro kickoff return. And the West will come out in the 3-receiver, 2 running back look. Alexander back to throw, runs over to the right, throws down the right sideline, and that is caught up across the 25-yard line. A 1st down completion to the 27, and a gain of 17 on the catch. And And that was Eric Pizarro again. He has been a favorite target of Jack Alexander today. First down up to the 26.
Ron, I got to point out some of the things I'm seeing in that interior. And on that left guard, number 71, Juan Padilla out of Orangeville High School out here in Texas, did a great job with another pancake. And that's what's keeping these defenders off the quarterback.
And here's a nice run by the West up across the 45. The handoff went to Hayden Chittum. And Chittum running hard and quickly down the left sideline. Inside move it around the 40, cut it up to the 49-yard line. That's a gain of 23 for Chittum right there, and another West first down. So these offensive lines, Sheldon, have played much better in this third quarter.
Well, I was waiting for it because, I mean, there's so many guys down there with such good size, and a handful of these guys still don't have any offers yet, so I'm excited to see them out there moving people around and trying to make a name for themselves.
Here's Chittum again on the carry, gains a couple into East territory. And there is an injured player for the East down on the play. So the officials will call for timeout, and the training staff will be out to attend to them. A couple of touchdowns in this third quarter, one by each team, and both of the passing variety. Braden Wingle finding Thomas Williams a bit earlier for the West, and then on the last possession for the East, it was Connor Noland finding De Los Santos on a quick slant from the 1-yard line.
It was good to see that young man jump back up. Number 79, Ronnie Trask. It was the young man that was on the ground here just a moment ago out of Irondale High School, Minnesota. I had a chance to talk to him and his mother. It's just the two of them out here. I'm sure she wasn't happy to see him on the ground for a few moments ago.
He is back on the sideline, appears to be
Holding.
Okay. Here is Alexander
They
back
got
the
it.
throw, going deep down the right side. The ball is caught in bounds inside the 10. But that will more than likely be coming back. There are 2 penalty flags down in the backfield. And I would imagine that of those 2 of them are holding. But we'll have to wait and see. That not necessarily always the call, but it was a nicely thrown ball there by Alexander. The catch was made deep down the field. But that will be coming back. It will be a holding call against the offense.
Yeah, the defensive end here, number 62, was grabbed by the neck collar here and just pulled to the ground. Anyone could have saw that one.
So the West will have to be backed up here to their own 41-yard line. It'll be second down and 20. And actually second down and 18 officially. Alexander will be in the gun, 2 receivers to the right, and he's back to throw on second and long. Stepping up in the pocket, now rolls to his right. He'll run it himself, and not quite able to turn the corner, knocked out of bounds, short of midfield at about the 48-yard line. That's a nice open field tackle made over there on the far side by the East. And Alexander will get back to around the original line of scrimmage, set up a third down and about 11. And Sheldon for the East, that looked like Riley Smaleha. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think I am. Smiha, perhaps.
Shemya.
Shmiha, yeah.
Shemya. There's no H in the name, but the S and the M actually makes an SH sound. He made particularly tell me that.
Well, there you go. He made a nice tackle right there. We'll go down to Mercedes on the field after this play. It is a third down and 11. And back to throw is Alexander, but first penalty flags. And we'll have to wait and see what that is. And while we do, we'll go down to Mercedes.
Hey guys, I'm down here with Blake Lotus. It's 6-7. You're headed somewhere, but you told me you have a busy Christmas break. What are you up to?
Christmas break, enjoying the time with the family, and then coming out January. A lot of road travel. Going to go to Louisiana Monroe for a visit there. Then plan to go to Houston Baptist and Missouri State as well in the January.
Get some visits taken care of, and then we'll see where you head from there in the fall. So tell me about today. How's the game going?
Well, as you can see by the score, 10-10. We'd like to put more points on the offense. You know, the first quarter or first half, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot with all those turnovers. But we're really confident, keeping the positive energy going, and I have faith in my boys and how to keep this going.
So this is what I'm dying to know. Before halftime, Coach McMillan said he was going to rip into you guys. Was he too tough, or how'd it go?
At halftime? He just kind of told us what we already needed to know. We're dominating up front with the offensive line, of course, and just keep the turnovers to a limit. Running backs hold on to the ball, offensive line keep making the holes, and we'll be all right.
See, I knew he was a softie. I knew it was all for show, all for the camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
That's what I like to hear. Well, Blake, good luck. Have fun. All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Mercedes. And while you were down there with Blake, a nice completion there from Jack Alexander to Dominic Palmer deep into East territory, a first down catch to the 24-yard line. The West trying to retake the lead. Alexander takes the snap and a fumble on the handoff. The West looks like they recovered it, but they're going to lose yardage on the play back to the 28. So a bit of a miscommunication there on the handoff, it looked like. West fortunate to fall back on that and see second down and about 15 coming up.
One of the things, too, I think people tend to forget is that every series, again, you're still getting a brand new group of linemen. So some of that, the timing issue that we spoke about earlier, it's going to always be an issue until you get together and you can play and practice for an entire season. But that's always going to be an issue tonight. But they're doing a great job trying to hold on and keeping their composure.
Alexander back to throw, standing all day, throws out right, incomplete. And it's going to be third down and 15. And that's a good point that you make, Sheldon. We see teams all the time that play together on a regular basis. They go to the same school. They play for the same professional organization. Those teams struggle at times with handoffs and communication issues. And so those sort of things just sort of get compounded when you're in a tight schedule, like a 2-day practice schedule. And so just sort of feeds the point of the defenses being a little ahead of the offenses because of how instinctual and reactionary defense is in comparison to offense. Here's a third down and 15. Alexander back to throw with time and throws it out right. It is caught at the 15-yard line. That's right around where the stick is. I think it's going to be just short of a first down. We'll have to wait and see exactly where they spot it. It's going to be fourth down coming up, it looks like. And you're right, that was really good timing and good pocket there provided by the offensive line.
Credit number 30, Nate Ruprecht out of Nebraska on the tackle. I'm sure Joshua Tips is happy to get that pass, considering that last ball he had fumbled. So that was good to help build his confidence back up and understand, let him know, let the coaches and the quarterback know that he can still be dependent on as a receiver.
The West is going to try to take the lead on a field goal try here. This is Gabe Burkett, who was good from 48 a little bit earlier. This from 34, chip shot for Burkett. It is no good.
Oh, no.
He just pulled it to the left. Wow, the West misses an opportunity there. A good drive down the field. The drive stalls out because of a missed handoff and some miscommunication. And they wind up with nothing to show for that.
Doesn't take much, right? Huh? Doesn't take much to throw you off the game in this, and even in this level, right? Couple bad plays here, couple mishaps there. Next thing you know, game's tied, and turnover on downs.
So tied at 10, 1:56 to play here in the third quarter. And the East will go out there on offense. Wyatt Rector will be the quarterback for the first time here in the third quarter. This is just the third possession for the East, and they're going to hand it off on first down, and not much running room here for the running back. That is Kellum, I believe. Let's take a look. Yeah, Joseph Kellum, number 25 on the carry. Nice open field tackle made there by the West. Loss of 2 on the play.
Credit that tackle to number 34, Reed Walter, out of Texas. Great open field tackle.
So Wyatt Rector, the quarterback right now for the East. He is from Leesburg, Florida, 6'4", 230 pounds. Big fella Takes the snap, it's low, he pulls it in, and now looks to run. And we'll get across the 15 up to about the 17-yard line. It's only going to gain about a yard. And it's going to be 3rd down and long coming up here for the East. Under a minute now to play in the 3rd quarter. You know, something else that's interesting, just talking about the differences between this All-American Bowl and, you know, traditional high school or college football, is that these defenses get a chance to sort of breathe in between plays, especially here in Texas when you see the high-octane spread offense and the hurry-up of a lot of these offenses here in Texas. There is no huddling. There is no substitutions going on. These teams are hurrying to the line of scrimmage and keeping the defense on their heels. You just don't see a lot of that here in a game like this. Here's a screen pass right, and they're going to lose yardage on this. The ball was actually caught there by Colton Thomas, one of the running backs for the East, but he loses 2, and it's time to punt for the East.
And speaking to what you said earlier, Ryan, you're not going to get the hurry-up offense style in this game simply because it's not about winning. We said it before. We got to keep pushing that point. It's not about the win or loss for either team. All those kids down there for both sides are winners, and so we got to promote the kids to the best of our ability. We got to get them on the field. They got to get reps. And so we're not going to have the hurry-up offense style that's going to put the defense in a bind like that. We want everybody to look their absolute best. What it boils down to is you got to go out there and perform, because that's what coaches at the next level want. They want kids who can produce, and that's the bottom line.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter here at AT&T Stadium with the West and the East tied at 10. Our coverage of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl will continue in a moment.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that laughter makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature?
The punt for the East returned big time by the West inside the 10-yard line. A great return by the West, and they are set up really nice here on their next possession.
You can credit that return, number 15, Eric Pizarro.
Yep,
out
his
of Rio
second of the
Hondo
half.
High School. Great job. Tell you, I had a chance to talk to him and his dad, and they stressed some concerns because there wasn't a lot of offers thrown at that young man, and they were just kind of in a quandary of what to do. My humble advice, just start marketing yourself and reach out to some coaches you're more interested in playing for. But I'm hoping after this game, with some of the things that he's done, perhaps somebody be showing some interest.
He's been incredible on special teams and catching the ball as well. They're going to hand it off here on 1st down, and a nice hole over the left side, reaching for the goal line. He is in. Touchdown. The touchdown carry by Heath Humphreys. Good point of attack blocking there by the West, and they have retaken the lead on the first play from scrimmage of the 4th quarter.
Ron, I'm glad you brought that point of attack blocking up, because I had my finger on the guy that did that, who was a large part of that touchdown. Number 25, Sidney Fout, again, out of Panama High School, Oklahoma. The young man I mentioned to you earlier about his mother passing when he was 6, that young man is out there doing what he's supposed to, what he came here to do, and that's try to get recognized and so that he can go on and further his education in someone's college or university.
There's the extra point by Burkich. It is up and good, and just underway in the 4th quarter. The West now leading the East 17-10. Our coverage of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl from AT&T Stadium. Well, we'll actually keep it right here instead of taking a break. So a nice return there by Pizarro once again to set up the touchdown drive for the West. And he has really been a difference maker in this second half for Coach Mark McMillan, as they have retaken a 7-point lead. This has been a good ball game, very entertaining game, and we've seen a lot of really talented players out there on both sides. And, you know, the offenses have really, as you mentioned, Sheldon, in this second half, really settled in and started to find their rhythm.
Most certainly, most certainly. I mean, it's a game, yes, and we're playing at AT&T Stadium, yes, but in essence, it's really still a practice for these kids. I mean, because that's kind of what it takes. It takes the offense a lot longer, and so what we're seeing now is kind of the resulting a combination of all that work that they've done for the last couple of days, and this being day number 3. Now things are starting to work and click for them, and plus their confidence is raising up. It's just looking really good for both teams.
So the East will go back deep to return. Tyler Mitchell and Trudell Archer will go back deep. We'll see if the East is able to get a nice return like the West has been able to do a couple of times here in this half. Burdich will kick it deep. And it is high and end over end. Sort of a short kick taken up at the 6-yard line. Mitchell lets it go through him. Has to retreat to the 1 to get it, and he is in some trouble. He'll be dropped at the 10-yard line. Boy, he tried to catch that ball, Sheldon, up above his head. You don't see that a lot from a return man. Sort of a mental lapse there, and it's going to cost him some field position.
A little bit of anxiety, a little bit of urgency. I got to do something. That kind of me. I got to do something. I got to do something. We kind of forget sometimes those fundamentals that we've learned when we were grasshoppers. It's okay. I'm sure he'll get a chance to do it again, and he'll be under a little more composure the next time.
So in at quarterback now for the East will be Cade Finnegan. He is 6'2", 175 pounds, from right here in the Dallas area at Woodrow Wilson High School is where he played his high school football. And he's in the pistol and back to throw on first down. Flushed out of the pocket to the right. Looking deep down the field. Goes over the middle. Ball's caught up at the 30 by his compadre, Travis West, a fellow Wildcat. And a first down for the East.
Credit number 5, Palake Makakona on the tackle out of Utah. He's been pretty consistent with his open field tackles. I haven't seen anyone just kind of outrun him or misuse and burn him. He's been real good and consistent, keeping real close, tight defense on his receivers. And that's the kind of player that coaches in the next level like to bring into their schools.
That was a 20-yard reception by West and a first down for the East. Travis West, that is, not the West team. Finnegan again back to throw. Quick slant across the middle is dropped. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, who that time was Jerquan Sanders, who has played well here today but not able to squeeze that pass. And it'll be second down.
You definitely credit Mr. number 33, Daryl Crockett, for putting a little fear into that receiver. Gave him that little alligator arm syndrome. Kind of common. Don't want to get hit. So sometimes you kind of pull your arms back just a little bit, kind of bracing for impact.
Logan Doyle in as a receiver, lined up wide to the left, and we're going to hand it off here on second down, and not much. Sela, I believe, got the carry there. Reese Sela.
Go ahead.
Some extracurricular activity after the play. And, you know, I've been interested by that, Sheldon. We've heard from several of the players with Mercedes down on the field. They've all talked about wanting to win the ball game, which is sort of interesting to me. I find it a little interesting that that's such a priority for these teams. So what we see right there, the feistiness and the competitive spirit out of these players, sort of back and forth after the play right there.
Well, it's such a violent game. You got to have that feistiness. You got to be super confident and almost borderline arrogance to be able to perform on this level and be successful and operate at such a high level. I totally understand why some of these guys got to have that win. They feel that kind of defines who they are. It defines the work they've put into it. It defines the whole price that they've had to pay for their parents to even be here. So I can't fault that. That's what you want. You want a kid that's willing to fight for you.
All right, now Cade Finnegan and Travis West putting on a show at AT&T Stadium. Fellow Woodrow Wilson Wildcats. Another catch by Travis West up at the 47-yard line, and a first down for the East. 17-10. We're in the fourth quarter. The West is leading the East by 7. The East is driving first down right to left at their own 47-yard line. Finnegan again out of the pistol. Two receivers lined up in the boundary to the right. He's back to throw, in some pressure, and they're Well, he's going to spin out of one would-be sack, now rolls to the sideline, throws, and it is caught.
No good.
But out of bounds. And that was West again, who just could not quite keep his foot in bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up. And how about the play by Cade Finnegan to somehow escape the pressure in the backfield and even get that pass off?
Real good. Very elusive quarterback. I know that's the kind of quarterback Coach Hooks likes to have, and a strong arm. You just got to get it's a little more time. He'll make some more plays. They're doing good. They're moving the ball well. I can see him going down the field a little bit on this one. I just kind of feel it in my bones. I'm going to see if I can call one for you. Uh-oh. Nope.
Reese Silla, the running back, will get the carry. And
Nice.
he will try the left side. Going to be stopped short of midfield. Nice open field tackle made there by the West. I believe that was number 51, Ryan Pollock,
And
from
number 46.
Empire, Arizona.
Also in on that tackle, number 46, Colby Fowler, Reed Sport Community Charter out of Oregon. I heard that hit all the way up here through my headphones.
So it'll be 3rd down and about 8 to go. And let's see if the East can keep the drive going here, trailing 17-10 in the 4th quarter.
Ball's got to go in the air.
West has been the target for Finnegan on this drive. They're going to go on a play fake. Finnegan rolling back to the left, throws across his body, sideline, caught. Inbounds, 1st down, Travis West again.
Remember, Ryan, according to some of the caveats of this thing, that you got to run the ball at least once every 4 plays.
Yes, that was one of the rules stipulated by Gus Bell. And we're going to go downstairs to Mercedes, who's standing by. Mercedes?
He's down here. Said that right?
And we'll just go ahead and go to Mercedes here in just a moment. Finnegan back to throw quickly to the left side. That's a catch, and then breaking a tackle is the receiver. That is Logan Doyle, who made a nice inside move away from the defender, able to get some yardage after the catch and a 1st down. And now we'll go downstairs to Mercedes. Mercedes, take it away.
Hey guys, I've got Heath Humphreys down here joining us from Oklahoma. Heath, what do you think about Texas?
It's big. I like it a lot.
And what about AT&T Stadium? A year ago today, did you think you'd be playing on this field right now?
No, not at all. Not even close.
Do you think the locker room is something to get used to?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Heath, do you have plans during Christmas break or in the summertime before you go in the fall?
Just work out and get bigger and get smarter.
And where are you headed this fall?
I'm nowhere. I don't know yet.
You're working on it?
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you think blue-gray football has, given you an opportunity to meet some new guys and really compete today?
Yeah, made a lot of new friends. I enjoyed the program a lot. It's fun.
Awesome. Well, good luck today. You guys are up. You're doing well. Thanks, Heath. Back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, thanks very much. Timeout was just called by the West. And the very sort of interesting there, Sheldon, the defense calling for a timeout. And perhaps the West coach, Mark McMillan, seeing something that he didn't particularly like out of his team, or maybe an adjustment that can be made. He calls for a timeout here in the middle of the drive. Still plenty of time to play in the 4th quarter.
I can see him trying to give him some last-minute words of encouragement before that 8-minute mark gets there, because like I told you before, once the 8-minute mark gets here, now coaches can freely substitute how they see fit. And I anticipate that we're going to see more and more chances being taken as we get closer and closer to the end of this game, especially with the game being 1 touchdown away.
So Finnegan will be in the gun. No drop back, throws it out quickly left, incomplete. And that time looking again for Doyle, threw it a bit low for him, and it was a good defensive play made there by Patrick Jackson, I believe that was, for the West.
Yeah, it looks as if they're trying to work on Patrick Jackson's side a little bit. He was kind of gave up a little play up earlier a couple plays ago while Mercedes was interviewing, and I can kind of sense they're trying to expose something on that side. I hope he realizes that, or his coaches realizes that, and kind of reel him back in and try to get him to get a little fired up and raise his level of intensity.
So on third down, they're going to give it to Kellum, trying to bounce it out right, gets to the 20. Gain of only 2, and a nice open field tackle made by the West right there. Short of a first down is Kellum. It'll be 4th down and 2, and now a very big decision for Coach George Teague and this East team. You're well within field goal range. And the problem is that you're down by 7. 17 to 10 right now.
What would you do, Ryan?
I think I would probably, with 11:43 left, a lot of time left on the clock. The offense has been playing much better for the East. I think I'd kick the field goal.
Go with the field goal.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. So this will be Stockwell from the right hash from 38. He was good at the other end of the field from 39 a little earlier in the half. Here's the snap. It's a perfect hold. The kick is right down the middle.
Good call.
Well done there by Stockwell. He cuts the lead for the West down to 17-13 with 11:15 to play here in the fourth quarter.
You ever thinking about coaching, Ryan?
I have not. I like to stay up here away from everything, and that way if I'm wrong, I'm not hurting anybody else, just myself.
Understood. Well, I got to give a little shout out to the young man that made the tackle on that play right before the field goal. Number 90, John Graves, is out of Lancaster High School. And on that last play, you just wanted the running back at Burke out to the outside. He made a great change of direction, pursuit to the ball, and great hit. Good job for the young man. I thought that John Graves was a chance to talk to him and his family. And he seems like a real nice young fella, and his family was very supportive, and he seemed like he had a real good time being here with the Blue-Gray.
So with 11:15 to play here in the fourth quarter, we'll remind you of sort of the substitution rules here in this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. Starting at the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter, the teams will no longer have to abide by the substitution rules that they've been following all game long. The teams have sort of been out there in designated personnel groups. The coaches will no longer have to follow that once we hit the 8-minute mark. But, well, the offenses have really played well here in this second half. Things have really opened up, and I give a lot of credit to the offensive lines for that. Here's the deep end over in kickoff by Stockwell, and the return from the 1-yard line. Turning left 10 to the 15, outside the numbers 20. Good return here for the West, up to the 25-yard line. And we'll try to get some eyes on that return man for the Gray West squad.
Number 1, that was
Dominic Palmer.
Dominic Palmer, correct.
Okay, so good return by him. And pretty good starting field position here for the West at their own 25, leading 17-13. And Braden Wingle is going to be back in there for the West. We haven't seen him since he threw a touchdown pass back in the third quarter. He's going to hand it off on first down. Good strong running here by the running back for the West. That's number 30, Hayden Chittum, and fighting hard for a few extra yards. Gains 2 or 3. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up.
I want to credit 33 Everett Williams out of Alabama on that tackle. It's a shoelace tackle, but without that tackle, he doesn't pick up a first down, so it's a good job on his part.
So Wingle will bring the team back to the line of scrimmage. And only 2 receivers, an H-back and a couple of running backs in here, and a nice play made on the backside defensively by the East. Not much of a gain there for Chittum on a 2nd down carry. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7 coming up now for the East, or for the West, I should say.
Credit that tackle to number 57, Bryce Johnson out of Tennessee. He's not one of the biggest D linemen they have out there, but when I watched him at practice, he was real quick off the ball. I mean, he knows how to use that speed and quickness to his advantage when he's going up against larger offensive linemen who have to come out of a back pedal. So good job on his part making the tackle.
So a big 3rd down here, 3rd down and about 7 to go. And back to throw is Wingle, looking left, time, standing, now escapes the pocket, and he is brought down short of the 30-yard line. We'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Maybe gained half of a yard, and a nice play made defensively by the East. They force a 3 and out, and it's time to punt for the West. Trudell Archer will go back deep to return. We'll see if he gets a chance to make a big play for the East. And now the decision by George Teague to kick the field goal on a 4th and 2 play on the last drive looks to be the right call. They're going to get the ball back here with a chance to take the lead with a touchdown.
Strong possibility to get some good field advantage too, Ryan, on this one.
Here's the snap, and they came after it. Wright able to get a good punt away. Here is Archer with a chance to return from the 24. Starts right and cuts up to the 30. Outside the numbers to the 35 and is brought down at about the 36-yard line. They're going to actually just give him the 35. So Archer with about an 11-yard return. First down East. 8:43 to play in the fourth quarter. So the East will get the ball down by 4 with 8:43 to play in the game, and a great opportunity here for the East, who has been playing from behind most of the game. They have never led. It's been tied a couple of times. And here is the East. This is Connor Noland in there at quarterback. He'll hand it off on first down to Shea Goss, coming right up the middle across the 40. Nice carry by Shea Goss to the 41-yard line.
Big number 69, Dalton Tucker, out of Bourbon County, Kentucky, a Marshall commit. Real good job pinning the block on number 33, Cameron Tate. Good job opening up the hole in the middle.
Here's second down and 3. And again, another handoff to Goss. Nice second effort here to get close to the stick. And it's going to be third down and 1. And right now we're going to go downstairs to Mercedes.
Hey guys, I've got Daryl Crockett down here joining us from South Lake Carroll. He's not too far away from home, but you know what the best part is? His dad, Ray Crockett, is coaching on the opposite team. How's that going for you?
It's going really well. So every time I make a play, I always look at him and just show him that I'm out here dominating pretty much.
You got to rub it in. You're up by 4 points. What's the goal? Make the lead even bigger?
Yes. My goal is to go up by 21. I'm trying to stop making enough stops so my offense can score, you know.
Has this ever happened before? Have you ever played for the opposite team that your dad was coaching?
No, my dad's been coaching me ever since I've ever picked up a football, so this is all new.
So it's competitive now, but he helped get you to where you are now.
Yes. He's still helping me now with little pointers that he sees on the field with everything, just to make sure I'm getting better, you know.
And what about blue-gray football? How's the experience been for you so far?
It's been great. It's been cool just bonding with the guys from out of state and just creating that relationship that'll go on for a lifetime.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking with us, Daryl. Good luck out there. I hope you get to rub it in even more. I know what that's like, that little rivalry there. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mercedes. Daryl Crockett in a bit of an interesting situation going up against a team that his dad is coaching for. And some discussion here amongst the officials. There was movement up front. The left defensive end for the West was in the neutral zone, and everybody just sort of, well, reacted to that, and a penalty flag was thrown, and now there's some discussion about who this will be on. Wow, they've called it a false start. And some booing at the Blue-Gray All-American football game.
That's the first time all
there
night,
you go.
so that's good.
No doubt about that.
Now it's official.
Now we're in the fourth quarter of a close game. Well, interesting call there. The left defensive end definitely came into the neutral zone. I guess the officials got together and decided that he was drawn offsides.
Right.
And so the penalty will make it third down and 6. And that's a big call because that was going to be third down and less than a yard. Now the East is backed up. Noland will be in the pistol. Slot left. The running back is directly behind him. And I would think this is an obvious passing situation. Back to throw is Noland. Pressure from his right. Rolls to the right. Gets to the sideline. Nowhere to go. And he is dropped in the backfield. A loss of 2. Back to the 38-yard line. Nobody open downfield. Give credit to the West defense. And the East will have to punt it back to the West. Well, the tackle made by the, you might have heard it in the public address
96.
microphone, 96. Cole Todd from Eaton, Texas made the tackle. And the East will have to punt. So they'll send Palmer and Pizarro back deep. Pizarro had a big punt return his last time he touched it. And Mihalik will get away an in-over-in kick. Pizarro ranges over, and I guess he did not call for a fair catch.
No, he did not.
Wow, so he fielded that ball in some heavy duress and is blasted immediately and dropped backwards.
Perhaps he was hoping somebody would come down with their head down. He can make a move, break another big gain.
Yeah, the risk seemed to outweigh the reward right there. And so with 6:29 to play, the West will take over on offense, leading 17-13. We're glad to have you along with us. I'm Ryan Castle with Sheldon Jackson, Mercedes Owens taking care of things down on the sidelines. And Braden Wingle in there at quarterback for the gray-shirted West team. Here's a quick pass out to Joshua Tips for a completion up across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Tackle immediately. And this is going to be a lofty comparison here, but Joshua Tips, a little bit smaller than the guy I'm about to mention, but reminds me a lot of a Ricky Seals-Jones, who was a 5-star recruit out of the Houston area, played at Texas A&M, and is now in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals. Similar body structure, and runs a similar-looking route to what Ricky Seals-Jones used to run at Texas A&M. Back to throw, Wingle down the right sideline, looking for Tips, incomplete.
Now, I have to agree with you. Joshua Tips, he's that prototypical size receiver that most coaches would love to have. And so far tonight, though, he hasn't really broken away yet. But tonight he has shown his ability to be a great position receiver. Like I told you, when he did that hitch in the first half, he's doing it. That's what you want. He's able to get the yards on the route itself. And so he's a dependable guy in that regard. So I think you're right. It's pretty accurate with your analogy on that one.
And tried a double move on that last play and was nearly completed. Wingle just overthrowing him a bit. Here's 3rd down and 5. Wingle with time to throw. Now the pressure comes. He steps up. He's firing deep into single coverage. Pizarro goes up and rips it down. A reception made by Eric Pizarro at the 24-yard line. He went up and plucked it out of the Arlington sky.
That is what this game is about. That young man right there. Guys are willing to go out there and just give it everything they got, just hoping that somebody would give them a chance at the next level. Great job, Mr. Pizarro.
Eric Pizarro with a great catch, went up and climbed the ladder and brought it in. A big play for the West, a 1st down to the East 23.5-yard line. Boy, Pizarro has played phenomenally tonight for the West, both on special teams and as a receiver. Clearly a deep, deep threat. And a good ball put up there by Braden Wingle, brought in by Eric Pizarro. 1st down at the East 23, and they'll hand it off here. And coming over the right side is the ball carrier. This is 25. That's Sidney Fout, getting a carry of the football out of Panama, Oklahoma.
Number 32. Number 32, Cannon Daniel, out of Tennessee on the tackle. It's a good job seeing the lane, seeing the hole, and hitting as hard as he could to produce that tackle. Good job by Daniels getting the backfield.
So 4:30 to play in the game, and the West up 17-13, trying to make this a 2-possession ball game. 2nd down and 8. Wingle back to throw, looking quickly left. They set up the screen. It's caught by Alexander Wise, trying to spin out of a couple of tackles and staying in bounds. He will be brought down at about the 17-yard line, gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the West offense. Well, this receiving core for the West, very good. And you talk about Joshua Tips, who we've already chronicled, and then Eric Pizarro. And then right there, Alexander Wise, who has 3 or 4 catches on the night. Big play here, 3rd down and 4. Wingle in the gun with a running back to each shoulder, and he's back to throw on 3rd and 4. Looking across the middle to the end zone. Pizarro couldn't squeeze it.
I saw that.
Incomplete. And It'll be 4th down and 4 coming up. That ball just a little bit too far in front of him. Might have gotten a fingertip on it, but not able to haul it in. And there's an injured East defensive back lying in the end zone, so timeout will be called with about 3.5 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter, and they'll take a look at the injured East player down in the end zone. But a nice play call there on that last play by Coach Mark McMillan. They were trying to find Pizarro right down the middle of the field, and just a bit too far out in front for him. And let's see here, Sheldon, help me out here. I think this is Christian McDowell. Yeah, that's right, Christian McDowell, who was shaken up on the play for the East. He is coming to the sideline. Little hitch in his giddy up, but is walking off under his own power, so that's good news.
Great stab for the end zone, though. You got a receiver that's pretty hot on your team right now. I thought that was a great play call, going right back to him, right down the pipe. I mean, he's having the game of his life. Let's continue to boost him up.
So here is Gabe Burkich to try a 35-yard field goal. He is 1 for 2 in the game. And this to give the West a 7-point lead. It is up and good. And with 3:24 left to play in the game, it's the West 20 and the East 13. So Burkich able to knock one through after missing earlier down on the other end. But good to see him get back up after the miss. And now if you're the East, pretty straightforward task in front of you. 3:24 left, you got 3 timeouts, you're down by a touchdown. You know exactly what you got to get.
You have to pass a little bit. You got to mix in some runs just to keep them honest. And again, as we go back to what we mentioned earlier, now at this point in the game, you can just pretty much let it loose and run all your playbook pretty much opens up now. Showcase these kids' talents as best you can, and just do whatever you need to do to get some points on the board.
Well, to start with a good return, either from Mitchell or from Archer. Neither one of those guys has really been able to do much in the return game.
Coverage teams have been pretty good.
You're right about that.
And then that's another thing, too, when you're dealing with all-star games like this. The coverage team tends to have more success, I think, and sometimes the return teams. You'd be surprised, Ryan. Some of these kids don't want as much contact as they let on. But then again, on the flip side, some of them do. So it's interesting to see. There's a lot of collisions that go take place on special teams alone, more so than any other play on football. So this is really where the big breaks happen.
The kickoff from Burkich is coming up. Archer and Mitchell back deep to return. And it's another high end-over-end kick. This is Mitchell coming out from the goal line. Up the hash mark to the 10.
I knew it.
And up the middle to the 15, 20. Breaks the tackle 30. Has one guy to beat. Burkich to the 50. And Burkich will wrestle him out of bounds. Nice tackle made by the kicker, Gabe Burkich. He was the only guy out of 11 there that was able to do something.
That just happened.
Boy, what a return there by the East.
I'm watching number 5, Palaka Makakona, come down and had pretty much had the returner dead to rights. Didn't break down properly, and obviously didn't make the tackle. And, man, he sat there on his knee watching the running back continue to run. He did not like his own personal effort on that last play.
So a nice return by Tyler Mitchell. The East is set up nicely at the West 40. 3:12 to play in the game. And the East needs a touchdown to tie it.
Let's get ready to say.
Shea Goss is in there as the running back.
No time for field goals at this point in the game.
And let's see here, a penalty flag coming from the far side back judge. That's going to be, it looks like, against the West. The official will turn away from us to make the call. Looks like a legal substitution.
They had too many men on the field.
Yeah, you're right about that. 12 men on the field.
Wrong game.
Bad penalty against the West, and so the East will have 1st and 5 now at the 35-yard line. Slot left, Goss the running back. Finnegan's in there as the quarterback, back to throw, looking deep. And pressure now off the left side, flicks it downfield, incomplete. Had Kellum open at the 25-yard line, but not enough mustard on the pass. It'll be 2nd down and 5 coming up. And the clock actually did not stop on that play, or start on that play, so there's still 3:12 to play in the 4th quarter. That was essentially a free play there for the East as far as time is concerned. So the East will huddle up. They'll come to the line of scrimmage. Cade Finnegan is in at quarterback. Travis West out there as a receiver, lined up in the slot on the right. And it's Jerquan Sanders lined up wide to the right. Drop snap by Finnegan. Now they're going to try a reverse to Archer, trying to get a block. Gets outside the numbers. He's at the 30. He's at the 25-20 and knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. It's the 3rd time, Sheldon, they've gone back to the well of the end-around play, and it's the 1st time it's been successful on the night. And this time at a great time in the ball game, a 1st down carry for Trudell Archer to the 20-yard line.
Great job. It wasn't completely broken. They knew there was some minor adjustments that could have been made for that place to have been successful when they first ran them. So they know they had it in their pocket to go back to it. And as you can see, like you mentioned, perfect timing, moves the chains, 1st down, inside the 20.
They are in the red zone, down by 7. Finnegan back to throw. He's going end zone. Man
Touchdown.
open. The ball is caught. Touchdown East. The reception made by Travis West. Another connection from Finnegan to West. And the East is an extra point away from tying the game with 2:52 to play.
It's real good when you see the quarterback and the offensive line coach trying to do the chest bump. That's real good. That's what it's all about.
Well, a great route run there by Travis West. He has been virtually unguardable for the East. And now the extra point from Stirring Stockwell is up and good. And the game is tied with 2:52 to play in the 4th quarter. It's the West 20 and the East 20. A great drive down the field by the East. It started with the big return, then the end around that got him to the 20-yard line, and then the 20-yard pitch and catch. From Woodrow Wilson Wildcat to Woodrow Wilson Wildcat. Cade Finnegan to his running mate Travis West. And the East and the West tied at 20 here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. Boy, what an entertaining ball game it's been tonight here at AT&T Stadium.
It's definitely have come alive in the 2nd half, hasn't it, Ryan?
It certainly has. After it was 3-0 at halftime, the teams have played really close all throughout the ball game. We saw a lot of turnovers in the 1st half from both of the offenses. Those have pretty much been eliminated. There have been a couple of turnovers here in the 2nd half, but not nearly what we saw in the 1st half of play. And now the West, with 2 timeouts and 2:52 to go, will have a chance to win the game.
Ball control, ball control, ball control. It's very important. 2 minutes, 52 seconds left in the game. This looks like it might be one situation for the team who has the ball last could walk away with the victory.
You're right about that. Ball control is such an important part of the game. You hear any talking head on TV, what's the thing that they say? Win the turnover battle. Every time. If you have a pretty face and you can say win the turnover battle, you can be on television talking about football, it seems.
Well, I don't have a pretty face, but I can talk about ball control.
I have a really good face for radio.
Right. I agree with you on that one, Ryan.
There's a high end-over-end kickoff, the return from the 10-yard line. Not much. The East stuffs it at the 20. They put him down quickly. That was Palmer on the return. And the West will have 80 yards in front of them. They need a field goal to take the lead.
Now, some of the things you don't see when you're watching the game. You tend to follow the football. But, man, that was some not so good blocking going on with some of those guys down there. I'm watching a defender from the East just kind of break through 2 would-be blockers to make that play. And you got to have it. You got to get it done.
So the West will go on offense. Jack Alexander will be the quarterback. Here's a handoff on 1st down. And back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it for the ball carrier. As they unstack, it'll be a gain of maybe a half yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up. 2:30 and counting to play in the game. Now, Sheldon, do you have any idea on overtime rules here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl? Was that?
No, nothing has changed to the overtime. They're going to be identical to what they may have been in the past. But no, everything is the same.
Okay, so no changes made to the overtime rule. 2 minutes to play in the game, tied at 20. Alexander takes a low snap, back to throw. Pressure, escapes the pocket, and is still on his feet. He'll run it across the 25 and get up to the 26-yard line. Gain of about 2.
We see some courageous running from these quarterbacks, putting their heads down and trying to fight for every yard, and I commend that. At the same time, you're quarterback. You got other guys to take those hits. Let's slide every now and again. Some people might think I'm saying the wrong thing, but I like to see a guy last as long as he can in the game. If he loves playing it, it's okay to slide if you're a quarterback.
A slide or throw the ball out of bounds, live to see another play.
Right.
That time Alexander trying to make something out of nothing, and did turn it into 2 yards, but you're right. You're certainly putting a lot on the line for those 2 yards. And in a game such as this, where you're not exactly playing for the state championship, obviously these teams, these players and coaches want to win the game, but that might have been something where Alexander could have thrown the ball out of bounds, and I don't think anybody would have faulted him for it. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 out of the timeout. Timeout was called there by the West, I believe. No, actually the East called for that timeout if the scoreboard is correct. So 2 timeouts left for the East. They called for timeout to stop the clock. So maybe they're thinking, let's try to get the ball back here. 3rd down and 5, and the East is looking over to the fans and asking them to get in the game. I love it. Alexander back to throw on 3rd and 5. Pressure off his left side. He's tripped and dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. The East got there, and they'll call for timeout again to stop the clock. It is 4th down and time to punt for the West. And that was Ronnie Trask, I believe, number 79, who was one of the first on the scene there for the East to make the sack on Alexander.
And also on that play was number 62, Jordan Schultz out of Ohio. Got a hand on that tackle as well.
So with 1:43 left here in the 4th quarter, the East burns its 2nd timeout. They stop the clock with 1:43. It's 4th and 16, so the West will obviously be punting here from their own 16-yard line. And Trudell Archer is going to go back to return the punt. Both teams have solid field goal kickers. And that's all it's going to take.
They're going this West is going to have to cover this punt. I can't say anything else about it.
Well, one thing to watch for here, Sheldon, the East has been coming after the punt, trying to block it all night.
True.
Let's see if they get to one here, or they might set up for the return.
They're
Looks like that's what they'll do.
return.
They're going to set up for the return. Here's the punt, and Archer's going to call for a fair catch. He lets it bounce, and it's going to take a great West roll inside the 30, and it's going to be out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So that turns into a really good punt there for the West. 30-yard line is where the East will start. 1:32 left, 1 timeout. Tied at 20 in the 4th quarter of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. Well, a great football game if you're a football fan, or if you're watching this as a college coach trying to see if you can find somebody to finish out your recruiting class. We're glad to have you along with us. It's been a very entertaining game, and we've seen a lot of really good, talented players to choose from here tonight at AT&T Stadium.
Now, they can't run the ball too much. They're trying to win. They got to get some passes close to those sidelines so those receivers can catch the ball and get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Cade Finnegan in at quarterback, back to throw, pumping. Now rolling to the right, dumps it in the flat, and tackled immediately as the ball carrier.
That's a loss.
Yep, Colton Thomas probably just as rather would have dropped that ball. He's going to lose yardage, and the clock will roll. And now it's actually, I beg your pardon, they're going to stop it. I guess he got out of bounds with 1:25 to play, but they do lose 2 yards. It's 2nd and 12.
They got to get down the field. Check down is not going to help with 1:25 left in the game. They got to get down the field.
Finnegan again back to throw. Here's down the
There you
field.
go.
Man open. The ball's
And
intercepted.
Nice
Intercepted
job.
at the 30-yard line.
Nice job.
That's Patrick Jackson, who they've been picking on quite a bit
He decided
here
to
in the
pick a little
second
bit
half.
himself, huh?
And he gets the sweetest of revenge there. A great interception as the ball was intended for Sanders deep down the post. And it's picked off by Jackson with 1:15 to play in the fourth quarter. The West will get it at their own 35-yard line.
How exciting is that to watch a kid go through a little adversity early on in the game and almost turn it around completely and just fight and come back and make a great play like that for his team.
So the West will get another crack at it. Jack Alexander will be the quarterback. 2 running backs, a slot on the right. And Alexander back to throw, looking quickly to the right. Catch made by Tips. Outside the numbers across the 40, up to the 42 for a gain of 7. 2 timeouts for the West, 1 minute and counting to play here in the fourth quarter. They've got to hurry. There really is no hurry up because you've got to huddle to make the play call.
Right.
And timeout is going to have to be called here by the West.
They wasted too much time off the clock.
Oh, no, it was an official timeout.
And there goes the clock again.
And the clock will wind. 50 seconds. Alexander in the gun. Back to throw on 2nd down and short. Loading one up deep into double coverage. It is incomplete. Looking for Joshua Tips, who turned around to try and make a catch and got his hands on it, but not able to squeeze it. And it's going to be 3rd down and 3, 41 seconds here in the fourth quarter.
So maybe you check down now, throw it to a shorter route to get the chains moving, which kind of stops the clock a little bit. But still got to keep throwing the ball.
Well, Eric Pizarro has been their big target here in the second half. And I believe he is lined up wide to the left here on 3rd down and 3. Alexander quickly back to throw, looking flats on the left, throws it short left, incomplete. And they were looking for Pizarro there, but it was thrown behind him. I'm not sure they would have had the first down had that catch been made. It's going to be 4th down and 3 with 36 seconds. And it looks like the West will punt. So Ryan Wright, number 27, will go back in punting formation. Trudell Archer will return for the East. Any chance for a fake here? I don't think they could have installed it in 2 days, but
they could have.
That would be a great call. And it's not a fake. Wright will punt it, and it's a good one. End over end. It'll bounce at the 15, back upfield, and be killed nicely by Pizarro. Inside the 20 at the 18-yard line, 27 seconds. 1 timeout for the East. And they've got to go a long way to get in field goal range.
Definitely got to take shots downfield this time.
That was what the East tried to do on their last possession, but Jackson with the interception. So, but here's the thing is that, you know, Jackson made a great play, but he was beat on that play. He had to have some closing speed to get back and make that interception.
Yes, that ball was underthrown.
So if the East can get the same play call or get the same receiver behind the defender, maybe a chance for something. They're going to bring a different quarterback in now, Wyatt Rector with 27 seconds. He's going to go back to throw. 3-step drop, now steps up. He'll run it to the 20 and across the 25, close to a first down, but short, and so the clock will wind. They're going to have to burn their last timeout. So with 14 seconds, they call for their final timeout of the second half.
It's a good tackle by number 43, Samonte Patterson Samante out of Colorado.
So what do you do here, Sheldon? They got 14 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about going down the field, obviously. You're nowhere within field goal range, but I don't know. Do you try to throw it deep? Maybe try to throw it short, have a good run after the catch? That's the decision for Coach George Teague in the huddle right now.
Right.
Last thing you can do is take a sack.
You got to send somebody deep, kind of stretch the defense. You got to have somebody sitting in the middle of the field. You got to have at least two of your receivers close to the sideline somewhere, so when they do make the catch, they can step out of bounds, get the clock stopped. But you got enough time to get 2 plays off, but you got to do it pretty quick. You got to have 2 plays already going into the huddle, or maybe even a 3rd play going into the huddle right now. Those guys probably have to have 3 plays ready to go with different variations based off the outcome. So we'll see how it plays out.
So Rector will be in there as the quarterback. Snap back, looking quickly to throw, and it is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Tipped on its way to Trudell Archer, and it's going to be 3rd down and 1. 10 seconds.
Ryan, does that look like a hook and ladder to you?
It looked like the makings of one, yes. I can't imagine they have installed that in 2 days, but
I can. I mean, I've watched. I mean, these coaches, after you go through the practices, they spend a little time with the players in the hotels, in the lobby, going over things because you get so much installed so fast, and so I can easily see them putting in, especially with Coach Margin Hooks, I can see them putting in a hook and ladder, just anything.
Well, that looked like it was it. Unfortunately, it was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Now 10 seconds. Back to throw is Rector. With some time, looking deep down the right side in double coverage. That is intercepted by Jackson. Patrick Jackson, another interception.
Yeah.
And that ball overthrown that time.
That was great.
Intended for Sanders.
He may have started off that first half being the one to get picked on, but he definitely demonstrated that you cannot throw to his side. He is a true shutdown corner. He has proven that. Good job, Mr. Patrick Jackson.
Interception on back-to-back possessions. And now 3 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. 1 play left for the West. Here of regulation. And to be perfectly honest with you, Sheldon, I'm not sure what Gus Bell has intended for overtime, if he does.
We shall see in about 3 seconds.
Unless something happens here for the West. Now the East is going to go into the most preventive of prevent defenses. They have 4 guys lined up. Really more shallow than I would think even they should be. And here is Wingle. He's going to throw it out right. This is going to be a catch by Tips. And they have nothing set up here, so Tips is going to just have to try to break a million tackles, and he won't. In fact, he's going to get chest bumped to the ground. A nice hit made there defensively by the East Cannon Daniel. And that's going to be the end of regulation with the West 20 and the East 20. So now maybe we can get somebody on our crew to listen into the public address announcer, see if they'll announce the halftime or the overtime rules. But regardless of what ends up happening over here over the next 5 minutes or so, whether they decide to play in overtime and what the parameters of that overtime may be, this has been a very good ball game. We've seen a lot of really good plays out of both teams, both offensively and defensively, and on special teams as well. And I think this has been everything that Gus Bell and the Impact Football Network and this blue-gray football organization has wanted, don't you think?
I totally agree with you, Ryan. I mean, the 2 names that stick out the most with me was going to be Patrick Jackson for one and Eric Bravaro. 2 standouts I thought had really good games this day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Pizarro, a great receiver for the West. Had a couple of really fantastic highlight reel catches and had a couple of nice returns. 1 kickoff return and 1 punt return that set up scores for the West. And the officials now all meeting out on the field to discuss what the overtime will look like. And I think we're going to go ahead and step aside here at the at AT&T Stadium as we await the overtime rules to be discussed and whatnot. So we'll rejoin you here in a moment at AT&T Stadium. Thanks for joining us here at AT&T Stadium on the Impact Football Network. We're going to overtime here at the home of the Dallas Cowboys, the West 20 and the East 20. We will play college rules overtime, which means that both teams will have a chance at the ball here in overtime. And it'll be the West with the ball first, and they complete a pass to the 16-yard line. So the East going on defense first. The West is out there on offense. Braden Wingle with a completed pass inside the 20 to about the 17 for a gain of 7.
Good tackle by number 35, Andre Reed.
So the West out there on offense. Wingle out of the shotgun slot left. And back to throw, looking left, has some time. Here's the pressure now from the right, and he's able to escape that and not the second sack. Buried back at the 30-yard line, a huge loss on the play, and in to make the play for the East was 92.
Brandon Spalding.
First
out
time
of
we
Ohio.
called his name tonight, and
it is.
Boy, an opportune time at that.
Right. I'm excited. I like the fact that these kids are still fighting pretty hard. They really do want to win. I mean, I know we talked about what the true purpose of all blue-gray football and everything, but you can't argue the fight in these young men. I love it. I'm excited to watch this go down.
Yeah, no question about it. Here's a big 3rd down and 15. Wingle back to throw, looking deep out to the left, incomplete. Looking for Alexander Wise right around the stick. But just not stellar timing there between quarterback and receiver. And now the West will try to get some points. They'll try a field goal here. This will be about a 47-yard effort from Gabe Burkich, who is 2 for 3 in the game on field goals. He had a 48-yarder in half number 1. He missed from about 34 yards on his second try, and then made from 39 on his third. Here it is, and it is good.
Wow.
Just barely snuck it over the crossbar and inside the right upright. Good from 47. And West is on the board here in overtime. 23-20 they lead, but now Sheldon, the East, knows exactly what they have to do. They get a touchdown and they win the game.
That's it. You love those rules, right? You love college rules. Real simple. You know what you got to do. And at this time, too, at this point, the coaches got the best kids they think that's going to help their team win because they're still trying to win. So we'll see how it plays out.
So let's see here at quarterback for the East will be Cade Finnegan. He's in the pistol. He'll turn and hand it off on first down to Shea Goss. And Goss will spin forward, trying to fight back to the 25-yard line, and will be dropped about a half of a yard shy.
Mr. Graves, Mr. John Graves out of Lancaster here in Texas, was not having any part of that. Good job fighting through the offensive line and putting a stop in the backfield on that. Good job, Mr. Graves.
Second down and 11. Time obviously not a factor here in overtime. And there has not really been a play clock going, so that's not a factor either. Back to throw is Finnegan with a clean pocket. Now runs up to the left. He'll try to take off himself and will get across the 25-yard line. Gains about a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down and 9 coming up. You wonder how conservative the East is thinking here. Obviously, you cannot turn the ball over. That would be a disaster, and you would end up losing the ball game if that were the result. And try to play conservatively, make sure you at least get the field goal. 3rd down and 9, a big play. Finnegan out of the pistol. Goss is the running back, and Finnegan's back to throw. Pressure coming,
Holding.
And he throws it out to the right, incomplete.
Wow.
No penalty flag is down for holding, although I did see the holding you were talking about, and even some extracurricular activity after the pass was thrown incomplete. It's going to be 4th down and 9.
Yeah,
the East will have to try for a second overtime, and that would have been a huge penalty call because that would have backed them out, probably out of field goal range.
They got away with murder on that one. That was clear holding.
This will be a 42-yard attempt from Stockwell to either force a second overtime or to win the game for the West. It has plenty of distance, and he nails it. No, he missed it. I beg your pardon, he missed it. And the West has won. They stormed the field. It is pandemonium down on the turf at AT&T Stadium.
She had so much leg on that. I thought that was good.
So a great job there by the West defensively. They force a field goal attempt, and Stockwell misses wide left. And the game is over. The West win it in overtime. The final score, the West squad 23, the East squad 20. A great ball game here today from AT&T Stadium.